Alright, I have a bunch of shitty level 50 blue guns. Because the legendaries I got really weren't all that good. But whatever. Alright, so this is episode 162 of the 3G podcast. And boy, do we got some fucking news. Courtesy of Blizzard, but we'll get to that in a bit. I want to talk a bit about Fire Emblem again. I finally got to the time skip. To be fair.
The Blizzard news is like every single podcast that's ever been done. That's the first thing they're talking about.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, so we're not new on this. I mean, the news broke earlier this week, all the crap they've been doing, and I think it's kind of petered out by now. But we'd be remiss if we didn't complain about it, so we'll get to that. And I think it's fairly important, and yes, there's going to be politics, so if you don't like politics, this is not the show for you to listen to, because you cannot talk about this little episode with Blizzard without getting into greater political ramifications and realities. That's just... Sorry, that's just life, you know? And I take a viewpoint on politics. A lot of people don't like talking about politics because there's a lot of fucking hurt feelings, and yeah, somebody has to be right and somebody has to be wrong. The thing about politics is it's all fucking augury. No one knows who is right and who is wrong until the policies are implemented. Usually. Sometimes we know people are just fucking lying and their policies don't work, like trickle-down economics. That's bullshit, but we keep dealing with it and people keep advocating for it. But generally, you have two ideas. Everyone has their own idea why they might work and might not work, and only one of them can be right, and there might be some rigor and theory crafting behind it, but in a lot of ways it's speculation. And amazing how people can get really angry when you're calling into question the validity of worldviews that are all just based on speculation and wishful thinking.
Yeah, you can get me worked up pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I usually don't like talking about politics, but today this is just juicy.
The ancient Greeks regarded somebody who didn't compete in politics as an idiot. And
this particular thing is like the perfect melding point of, like, you know how Greg likes to stir shit.
Yeah. I mean, this might be one of the issues where we just unequivocally agree. And I know you like to fancy yourself. I don't know what actually you like to fancy yourself. You seem to play fairly centrist or center-right, but once you start talking, that shit goes out the window and you're... Yeah... I mean, that's the thing about American politics, though. A lot of people would call themselves a centrist or even center-right, and they're far to the left of what is generally considered, like, policy as far as right-wing implementation goes. And if you look at polling on a lot of issues like Medicare for All and Green New Deal and all this shit, gay marriage and all kinds of shit, the American people, on average, pull far to the left of the Republican Party, and yet our policies are far to the right of what most Americans actually want. But that's because we don't really have a democracy. I mean, Americans are weird. You'd think that we'd be more left-wing on social issues and right-wing on economics, and that's kind of how we're governed policy-wise, and there are reasons for that, like... Both parties like appeasing their donors, and they're all fucking rich, so we end up with right-wing economics, because that makes them richer. But the left wing in America, and I hate calling the Democrats left-wing, because I don't believe they are, mostly. They like to throw meaningless, stupid, trivial bones to their base by saying, okay, we're going to steal all your money and your kids are going to fucking drink lead and we're not going to care and we're going to support all the fucking Republicans' wars and we're going to do our own when we get the chance. But we'll be a little nice to the gay people. Just a tiny bit nice. Like, we might even allow them to get married in 20 years. You know? That's what passes for leftism in America. Whereas the right wing, in America, like the Republican Party, their opinions, they used to have opinions, and then they were all proven wrong, and then they crashed the economy and elected Trump. So now the mainstream Republican thought seems to be, whatever the left wing wants, we're against it. And we will update our opinions daily, depending on what the left wing is saying today. But yeah, the ancient Greeks viewed people that didn't participate in politics as idiots, and I don't mean that in the sense that you're a dumb person. It kind of meant like you're a social imbecile, and I kind of agree with that. I mean, the people who take the self-defeatist tone when it comes to politics and they whine, well, my vote doesn't matter anyways. Yeah, that's a reason to get more engaged in politics, because your vote should matter. I mean, if you can say that and believe it, and then the only recourse you come to is, well, fuck it, I guess I'll just be a fucking serf. Who does that? Why would you accept that? Like,
some people are fucking lazy and don't care.
I mean, some people are born slaves. Like, you see a lot of these conservatives these days, like, threatening to start a civil war over Trump. Over Donald fucking Trump. This guy wouldn't fucking piss on you if you were on fire, and you're gonna fucking threaten to take up arms, not like anyone's fucking scared of you. Fucking fat-ass fucking couch whales and their fucking AR-15s that barely stick out over their forearm fat. People are gonna fucking be worried about you.
With AR-15s, your former friend and sister's ex-boyfriend was hunting using an AR-15.
Okay, good for him. I mean, look, if you need a fucking semi-automatic rifle to hunt for fucking deer, you probably shouldn't be allowed to hunt deer.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, and it has nothing to do with my stances on gun control. Frankly, I think you're kind of a fucking chump if you're not using a bow and arrow to hunt. But I believe in fair... Yeah, well, your uncle only uses a bow and arrow because he can... Like, they have different hunting seasons for different weapons.
Yeah, it's so he can double down.
If they had a fucking hunting season for cheese graters, your fucking uncle would be out there with a goddamn cheese grater trying to kill deer.
Well, yeah, because he likes venison and he wants it.
I mean, that's fine. I think that... Okay, look. No one is going to starve in America if they don't fucking kill a deer. And it's nice, it's fine to have venison. I like venison jerky, too, when fucking my dad gets it from his work friends, whatever. But goddamn it, the fucking playing field is so unbalanced now. If you're not willing to do even the most minimal amount of fucking physical labor to go hunt a deer, maybe you shouldn't be one of the people hunting a deer. Just give the goddamn deer a little bit more of a fighting chance. Make people use bows.
That sounds like communism.
Everything is communism. Ah, fuck it. Well, we already started talking about politics, so we might as well get into Blizzard shit. Do you wanna...
Oh, what about this Fire Emblem you've been playing?
Okay, fine.
It's a,
we'll go with
enjoyable,
Okay.
I started month 9 again for the second time. I reached to where I was before.
Yes, she finally got back, but, I mean, it's actually a really good thing that Rebecca is working on this now that we need someone to cover all the Black Eagle stuff. Well, the last 2 months of the year before the time skip are actually kind of tame. Like, there's just not a lot going on.
Tamer than you'd think they would be.
Yeah. I mean, like, in the... Like, the story keeps moving at a clip, but the free time you have is just... There's not really much to do. There's not even a quest in month 2. Like, there's one rare monster sighting, I think is the only event, and... Fine, fair. I mean, I like getting those rare weapons from those, so... Good enough. So I was just plowing through that shit, and... finished up all the paralog battles I had to do by month 1, so there's really not much to do in those months.
I'm glad you're getting to those, though, because that shit's kind of been sitting there for a while.
Yeah, well, I mean...
That's probably really good content that's being added. Like, it has to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit I could add. Like, I'm pretty sure I've got most of the... almost all the classes figured out. Enough to write a page for them, but... Yeah, you know... One thing at a time.
I helped by telling him he should put a calendar...
Yeah, the reason there's a calendar at the start of each month is because Rebecca was like, I wish I could see the fucking calendar or know what's gonna come up.
Yeah, so I can plan out.
Honestly, if we were smarter, we would have just, like, had a list of all the events. Like a table that just listed all the events for each month. And we kind of talk through that. But I still think a calendar, or like a list of them would be nice, but...
The calendar's pretty helpful too, though, because it allows you to look at it.
It allows you to plan, like, okay, I've got 3 lectures and 3 free days. Okay, so I can do this, and yeah. I understand
That's
it.
what I wanted it for.
But yeah, so I got through month 2. I just wanted to record it. So I played through the month 2 battle, and I took notes, but I haven't written it up yet. Month 1 is all up. I even got media for pretty much everything. So hooray for that. I did so much media yesterday, I'm fucking almost physically ill by the thought of it. Like, there was one page in the Baldur's Gate guide that got 38 images.
Damn.
And usually a pretty good day of media is about 50 images that you get cut and posted. So that was a bit of a chore. It was one of the... You know Baragast, right, Rebecca? The first town you go to in Baldur's Gate. Yeah, I had to do that. And there's just a lot of stuff there, so...
Yeah.
And then I also did the section where I recruited all the characters that you can get in the early game, so they had stuff, and then I, like, the Enhanced Edition fixed a lot of things that were broken in the original game, but some of the things that were broken in the original game, I kind of liked being broken. Like, character quests that they want you to do early. Like, Safana wants you to go get that treasure from the seaside cave, and if you want to recruit Safana early, great. But then you have to get through, like, 6 sirens and fucking flesh golems, and that's not easy to do with a level 1 and 2 party, so I had to figure out a way to sneak in there, and suffice to say, with some save loading, sneaking, and a potion of invisibility, you can go claim all that treasure without having to fight a damn thing, so that's some of the shit I was doing. Plenty of media for all that, and then I think I did the first 2 wilderness areas on the way to Nashville, so it's just, yeah. And then I did fucking 2 months of Fire Emblem media. And I recorded the battle at the end of month 2, because I was under the assumption that the time skip was at the end of month 2. Apparently it's at the end of month 3. And yeah. I saw the story at the end of month 2, and I was like, well, fuck, I have to see where this is going to go. So, I mean, the story finally decided it's going to go somewhere. And one of the big plot developments was pretty fucking obvious, and I'm not gonna spoil shit here, because it's still very much a live game, especially for little Rebecca.
Yeah, mine's probably going to take a totally different route, though.
Yeah, but this almost certainly is going to come up, so... So I wanted to see how month 3 played out, and it's surprisingly standard, although abbreviated month. And then I got to the battle at the end of that, and I was just playing ahead just to see the fucking end of it. And holy shit, they actually just ramped that fucking difficulty up at the end of that month. Like, enemies with a 40 attack were the norm in that battle. There were a few archers that had in the 20s still, and I have no clue what the fuck their point was, except to, I guess, scare you away from using Pegasus Knights and Wyvern Riders, but whatever. It was a nice change to actually, like, my Lysithea got hit by some guy and took 10 damage. You know the last time I had a character take 10 damage? I mean, granted, she turned around and fucking blasted him with dark magic for 60, but still. So, I'm all for the difficulty ramping up. I hope it goes right to the fucking moon. Justify the effort I spent grinding all these characters up. And, like, the stats of the enemies made me wonder just how good or bad characters would be if they were not leveled appropriately. Yeah. Because, I mean, 40 attack is... I'm assuming that most of your... Well, I guess some of your tankier characters, like the armored knights and shit, they would probably still have in the 30s defense-wise. And if you gave them a shield and a good battalion, that could easily get up to 40. But I'm sitting here with my mages, and a lot of my mages have like 30. And I don't even bother with the tank characters because, like, my two most tanky characters are Lorenz and Mercedes. They both are just fucking ridiculously indestructible. And that's before you put a battalion on them.
Lorenz, huh?
Yeah, Lorenz. Like, he is unbelievably good in my game. Like, I think his lowest important stat, like, I think his luck is like 16, so he just doesn't grow that. But both, like, defense and resist are 30, 31, and his magic is 40, his strength is 37, his speed is 40, and he's just, like, a great all-rounder. So I made him a Dark Knight, and he just excels at that role. Whatever he needs to do, he does. Oh, you're a fucking armored knight? Okay, well, he's going to cast a spell on you. Oh, you're a fucking mage? Well, he's going to throw a javelin at you. You're just fucked either way. Nothing you can do. So he's actually just... Like, Rebecca's seen his stats. He's fucking stupid in my game. And Mercedes is kind of like that, too. And she's only really good at the magic. But her defense is like 30 and her resist is 40. She just face tanks everything. So, yeah. They're both really fucking strong in my game. And like a downside with Lorenz might be, if you plan to really get crazy with the min-maxing, is some of his max stats are kind of low, like in the 50s. But if you're just playing normally, like, that's probably the best you can expect to get anyway. So he's one of those characters in a normal game that should get pretty good stats all round, but nothing exceptional. That would just be my guess if you weren't leveling him preferentially. Whereas someone like Lysithea, she's going to get a crazy high magic score, but she's going to be a fucking glass cannon. So I'm going to have to do a hard run after I finish this just to see how some of this pans out. But yeah, so I finished that. The mission at the end of month 3, which was nice, because things actually hurt me for a change, although I still beat it in 5 turns and killed everything on the map. And I mean, you can't stop there, because you want to see how everything's going to turn out and how they get things back to normal, I should say, which they do in kind of surprisingly quick, unsatisfactory fashion. I mean, they set it up, but, you know, everyone kind of has a good excuse for turning out where they turn out, and it's like, oh, okay, so...
Oh, it's a little clean.
I mean, you pushed all that story stuff, but hey, okay, after all that political turmoil, now we're going to continue. I mean, yeah, the aesthetics are a little different, but more or less, hey, look, I'm back teaching classes and everybody's here. So, that's a little goofy. Yeah. I will say it is nice talking to the characters from different factions. One faction in particular, if they ended up joining you, and I'm surprised that everyone stuck around. So, and I'm kind of curious to see what the fuck Dimitri is doing, because in my game, nobody is talking favorably about him. Like, the general consensus is he's unfit to be king and kind of just went off on the lamb and is fucking crazy now. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know how that is playing out for the Blue Lions, but...
Well, he's there.
Well, yeah,
he's a beast. They insinuate he went off and was crazy, but you're just trying to bring him back.
Okay, I was wondering if you had to, like, find him and tame him.
So far.
Oh, so they didn't really tell that story well.
Well, maybe not yet.
They needed to have a quest. Like, I was thinking and hoping that they'd have a quest where he was off doing whatever during the time skip, and you would have to go and find him, or you just encounter him by chance, or some shit.
They do all that with a cutscene.
That's not good enough.
And then you have to go rat hunting with him, which is a mission where he just decides to go fight 40 bandits by himself.
Okay, so, like, the first mission I did post a time skip was, I was in some ruins, and people were stealing items from it, and I had to go hunt down a whole bunch of thieves with Claude. So, okay. Does look... Because the first mission for the Golden Deer seemed generic enough that I was almost wondering if there would be overlap still.
It sounds like there probably could be.
Yeah, I'm thinking there might be.
You get your allies back turn by turn.
Yeah, they join over various turns.
I bet it's the same place.
It sounds like the same one. And there's a whole bunch of thieves with loot.
My thing and probably,
okay. Yeah. I just played through it, so I didn't even capture any media or anything. So it doesn't matter if it's the same.
I don't think you need
to. Which makes me really wonder.
The gravestone of Lady Red or something. My class.
I'm wondering, like, I'm really wondering how month 3 plays out for the Black Eagles. So, Rebecca, you're gonna have to stop fucking around and get on with the game. Greg is sick of your unprofessional behavior.
What? You're gonna get me in trouble.
And he didn't pick to work with me in the first place, so...
Well, he's never worked with you before. It was a fair choice from a guide writer's perspective to work with someone you've written like 20 fucking guides with.
Yeah, but how dare I not order a game fast enough?
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother can of worms. But, yeah, so I played a bit ahead, and I got to see everybody post-time skip. Some characters bothered me more than I thought they would. Some bothered me less. Poor Mercedes, looking like a fucking nun.
Yeah,
which is exactly what she wanted.
Well, to be fair, yeah. I'm also surprised, like, because I grind up support ranks. Like, I'll just have characters sit next to Byleth during missions, and Byleth will kill everything, but all the characters I want to boost support ranks will be adjacent, so they gain support every turn. Yay! And I have, like, the entire monastery that has a pending support rank, and almost all of them are just ready to go again after the time skip. And it was a little unfortunate how they kind of jump right into their stories, you know, despite all the shit of the time skip, so that's kind of lame. Not a fan of that. Like, they wanted to have a big event and a time skip, but they didn't want to actually put in the work, yeah. Like, they should have dragged it out over a few months to kind of make you go and get everybody back, and everyone's just kind of like, yeah, I know it's supposed to have been a couple years, but
they're like, yeah, we said we would all meet here again.
Yeah, it's all fucking good.
This day.
And it just worked out for everyone. You didn't have to go find
Well, it didn't really work out for everyone.
Well...
There's some characters who aren't having a good time, and, like, you get attached enough to them over the course of the school year that you kind of feel bad for them. Like Ferdinand, I almost feel bad for him, but it's also kind of like, you deserved exactly this. But yeah, a lot of characters, it's like, this is the political situation, but fuck it, I'm here anyways. I mean, if you recruited them during the school year, that's pretty much going to sum up almost every character. Even characters who should be.
How it's going to work out for the Black Eagles because of the supposed shit you have to do.
Like, this is kind of a story spoiler, but only if you play the Golden Deer, so if you care about that, stop listening, because I'm going to talk about it anyways, but Rebecca and Greg haven't played the Golden Deer, so... But the backstory is, and Greg probably knows this, but Lorenz's family is collaborating with an enemy faction against the Leicester Alliance. But once you got them...
It's kind of evident from that paralog battle I watched you do.
Well, once you got them back in the monastery, though, they're like... Lorenz is like, well, yeah, but Claude will just fuck this up if I'm not here, so I'll help, even though... You know, politically, my family's on the other side. Yeah. So it's kind of just like, well, you know, I guess the alternative to this was telling a compelling story, and they weren't going to do that. And I do have to say, like, going into the game, I kind of viewed the two prominent factions at play a certain way, but I'm betraying my little atheist bones a little bit here in the way I'm viewing them now, because I kind of feel sympathy for the church, like they might have been set up to be the bad guys more than they really deserved. Hopefully, in the long run, they'll do that lovely Shades of Grey story where everyone's the fucking bad guy and there's no right choice. But, right now the people that are cast as the bad guys seem pretty well cast as the bad guys. Like, I'm eager to go fucking beat them, so... And I didn't think I'd be that eager. But yeah, I played a month... well, technically into the second battle of the time skip, so... How long that'll actually take to get all written up is another thing, but once you're in the time skip month and everyone has their fucking new looks, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is Petra even wearing?
Best girl.
She's pretty out. I don't know. It's hard to pick. Like, Petra and Bernadette are both really fucking fun. I think, like, there aren't too many characters I outright hate in this game. It's actually surprising. Like, Ignatz and Ash, I couldn't care less about. I find them both annoying. As far as the girls go, I think Marianne is one of the least interesting, but she's starting to turn a corner with the... She just started recently going, I'm not running away anymore. I'm going to fight for what I believe in. And it's like, okay, is that what you were setting up? But I mean, it's better than nothing, so hooray. But yeah, I'm surprised by how few of the characters I actually dislike. Although, don't ask me that when I'm doing their fucking tea parties, because there are some insufferable motherfuckers. Like Felix. Just...
He doesn't about training, he doesn't want to hear it.
Not even... He doesn't seem to like almost anything. He's just kind of a curmudgeon-y bitch. But, that's not all that surprising. It kind of fits his character.
Yeah.
So yeah. Turned that corner on Fire Emblem. I feel like I should have been at the time stop as far as guide progress goes a month ago, but... Well, you know. Shit happens. And now I feel like we've got some of these impediments out of the way, so we can start picking up steam again and actually making some progress, and hopefully I can get more done. I'll feel a lot better once the entire guide is up to the time skip, because then I'll feel like the guide is being held back less by any individual author, and we can just kind of plunk away at our own things, which will be nice. So... And I'm kind of suspecting, Rebecca, that the Black Eagle choice, if you side with the church, is very similar to any other house. Actually,
yeah,
if I had to make a guess, I'd say siding with the church, the Black Eagles, is probably the lamest thing you can do story-wise. Because it just seems like it would be a similar path to all the other houses without the interesting political drama that comes with, like, Claude and Dimitri and Dedu.
Yeah.
Which I guess you can't even consider Dedu as one of, like, the top tier story characters, because he doesn't have to make it past the time skip. Which...
Yeah, you're right. He does not.
Is... like... When I found that out, I was like, well, I guess they wrote off all the consequential parts of his storyline after the time skip. I'm sure he'll have interjections, but if you play the game with and without Dedu, I'm pretty sure you would just, you know, you'd be able to see where he was just inserted in to say something to make it seem like he's still integral to the story or playing a role. And I kind of doubt he's gonna after the time skip. But to be fair, all the characters that aren't part of your house are kind of just there. He might, but I don't really give them enough faith to have done the work.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of know some things already. So.
Okay. So you can just say I'm wrong if I'm wrong. And I'll be more than happy to know that they exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, I haven't witnessed it myself yet.
Okay.
I'll wait.
I'm waiting for some of the political things. Like, this game, there's a certain level of timidity you can get away with when it comes to your story. And having characters be vague or obtuse or fail to tell you something vital mid-sentence and then get sidetracked. But this game does that way too fucking much. Like, there is a fucking card Rhea is palming, and she's done it like 3 fucking times now. Where she's about to tell you something about your fucking mother or whatever the fuck. Yeah. And then she's just, I got interrupted. Oh, never mind. This thing that's probably fucking vitally important won't get brought up again. Life. It's just like, Byleth, snap your fucking fingers and fucking just go, fuck, come on, bitch, what?
Yeah.
And, like, after the events...
At least 2 times that happens.
Yeah, I can think of 2 for certain, but I think they also kind of quasi-do it later. But
I wouldn't doubt if it was 3.
And, like, the events after that forest battle near the end of the first school year, Greg knows the one I'm talking about, I'm sure. They don't really categorically explain what the fuck, like, what happened there. Like, they kick around it, you learn more during the event, but they pin Rhea as complicit and expectant of various things, and none of that ever gets revealed. At least at the part I'm at. And I'm just like, come on, how can she skate away? Like, who is letting her get away with this shit? So, just fucking, somebody needs to put the pins to her. Well, Edelgard's got her own fucking crazy bitch going on. But yeah, it's just like, you know, if you do it once, it's annoying, but when you purposefully obfuscate plot points like that, and you let the character get away, and you can only do that so many times, and I feel like this game has done that way more than it can get away with. So, like, it's at the point where it's starting to insult intelligence, to be like, okay, no, this is important. No one would just sit there and be like, oh, well, I guess the guy came and asked you what the lunch menu's gonna be, so you don't have to tell me about this fucking world-impinging event. So, they do that way too much, and I was dissatisfied with the amount of answers I got over the 2.5 months I played. When there were pivotal story events, I feel like I should have come out of the time skip knowing a lot more than I do know. So, I guess the first half of the game, the whole pre-time skip bits, are just you getting familiar with and learning some of the backstories of your characters and all that shit. And at that, the game actually does a really good job, because unless you're trying, you get to know the personalities of these characters and develop fucking bonds with them, and it's good stuff. And hopefully after the time skip is when they start paying shit off. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right, Rebecca?
I said we'll see!
When you finally get there?
One day.
Only 6 more months to go. So what level are all your characters now?
Minimum 20, except for, I think, Lysithian and Ned.
Jeez. Most of my characters went into the time skip between levels... Well, that's not fair. I had a pretty big gap. But my fighting team was anywhere between level 32 and 40. And... FYI, Rebecca, after the time skip, some characters just randomly level up a few times. I haven't seen any rhyme or reason for why or who. Some characters on my battle team leveled up like 4 times, like Lysithea. Just got 4 levels. Which was a shame. And
was she one of your highest level
she was one of my highest level characters, yeah.
Well, I should get them all to 50, and then...
I mean, well, no. There's just not...
get them all to 50, and then... No.
Well, I mean, you probably could, because there's some battles you can do towards the end there where the enemies are level 26, and that'll get you pretty high, but also kind of not worth it. But just FYI, you might have to randomly suck up a few computer levels, which are bad.
Yeah, but if your characters are like level 34, or 5, or 6, or whatever the fuck yours were, does it really matter too much?
No, I'm pretty sure I could just walk my way to the end of the game. Unless enemies start popping out with like 60 attack, which might happen by the end of the game. I'd be disappointed if it didn't, but I'm kind of expecting that for bigger things. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if there's a tier of weapon above silver. I kind of don't think there is, because enemies have used up a lot of their ways to boost their stats. Like, level 26 battles, even lower. I think the fight at the end of month 3 had enemies with silver weapons. And that boosts their attack stats a good bit. Like, silver weapons, I think, are in the low teens, which is better than the iron or steel that a lot of characters were using. And enemies don't seem to like to gain in core stats that fast. So I'm kind of curious. Like, the promotions, you'll start fighting more advanced classes, and if you see an advanced class, you know they're going to have good attack power. That's just based off of the, I guess, stat minimums of that class. Like an assassin or fortress knight, they're going to have some good stats.
Yeah. But
they're running out of those too, unless I start fighting a whole bunch of enemies in master classes. So we'll see how much further they'll go. I don't know. Yep, that's my Fire Emblem. That shit I did yesterday. Well, technically today. I was playing it from pretty much 4 or 5 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon before I went to bed.
That explains why you didn't wake up till like 10.
Yeah.
I was gonna go wake you up to see if you wanted food.
Yeah, she just decided to eat her own food and put my spaghetti sauce on the oven, which didn't have the time to eat that before this podcast because I didn't want to be all full and logy when there was politics to talk about. Sometimes I swear I almost fucking hyperventilate on this podcast as it is. Me with a fucking full stomach of spaghetti, I'd probably pass out or die of a heart attack or some shit. So yeah, won't be doing that.
Trying for, but
well, I've got to I told you, I'm not dying until I play Final Fantasy VII Remake. We can talk about it then. Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully I play the whole trilogy, but, you know, that might be a bit much.
Decades.
That might be, yeah. I mean, I might legitimately be looking for the final part of that fucking series when I'm looking at AARP and shit. But, yeah, so that's all my Fire Emblem shit. Rebecca, what'd you do in Fire Emblem?
Leveled some characters.
Yeah, you just fucking sat there and did grinding. Tell everybody why you started over and why you're grinding.
Because my characters were not good enough.
So this has been something that, like, I want to figure out the mechanics of the game, because I figured I'd write the Golden Deer, and that'd be fine, and Greg and Alex would take care of the main walkthrough, and then branch off into their own storylines, and I would do the side shit, like, you know, how all the classes worked, and all, you know, all the fucking tricks, and all the grinding, and all the min-maxing shit, because that's the shit I like to write about, damn it. So I'm still doing that. But now I'm doing more. Whatever, it is what it is. And Rebecca, like, I would slowly figure out things about this game. Like, the mechanics that would let you get away with, how things worked, and, yeah, retool my strategy to accommodate that. And now I think I've found out I've probably found out 2 or 3 different things that are relevant now. One is you probably don't need to grind and worry about it because promotion bonuses will probably be good enough, and the amount of days you have where you can lecture your students and grind up fucking Byleth skills, yeah, there's no real incentive to max everybody's stats like I did. But I didn't want to leave anything to chance. I wanted to recruit all the characters. If you care about doing that early, then, you got to do a little bit more work than you'd otherwise have to do. Fair enough.
I barely got away with recruiting everyone.
Yeah, see, I was so anal about it, I had to just, boost Byleth's stats to superhuman levels really early on to ensure I got everybody. And I will advocate doing that if you care about min-maxing, although the game really doesn't, in a lot of ways, reward you for it because the enemies are so weak. But, the computer leveling your characters is terrible. Awful. Fucking atrocious.
Yeah. It gives you an average of 3.3 or 3.25 or 3.5 points per level.
I mean,
leave it up to the fucking computer to do
it's... If you're playing on normal mode, it's hard to have a useless character because you can course correct on most of them and still make them a lot stronger than the enemy. But compared to your other characters, anybody you get significantly late is kind of a dud character by comparison. I think Shamir, she can get okay. I have better archers, but I can't complain about Shamir's stats. You can get her early enough. And Catherine, she's kind of your consolation prize if you're not playing with Edelgard. Because Edelgard's stats are ridiculous. They're significantly better than Dimitri and Claude. But if you're playing the Blue Lions and Golden Deer, you can get Catherine fairly early on. I think level 7 or 9. And she is a fucking beast.
Yeah, early on, she is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know what this
She's the most Fire Emblem games give you that one character early on that's stupid powerful.
Yeah.
In a lot of them, it's a paladin and, friend of your father who has been killed, that sort of shit.
Yeah. In this one, it's Catherine. So, she's still really good in my game. I don't use her that much anymore because I prefer the personalities of other characters, frankly. And she's so good, she doesn't really have anywhere to go. She's not good at being a caster, so there's not really any master classes that make sense to promote her to. And there's some people that are, on the RPG Gamer podcast, there are people that are somewhat obsessed with getting everyone a master class, and not everyone needs it. And no. Catherine's a perfect example. Their Swordmaster is her peak. There's really no reason to do anything else with her. And, I mean, the class gets her sword fair and passive sword crit bonus. That's all she needs to do. Just fucking focus her with sword. She's fine. She is an endgame character as soon as you get her. And she levels up exceptionally well, at least for me. And she is one of the few characters that can come close to rivaling Byleth in terms of overall power. She doesn't really have any weak points, except for her inability to really cast spells well. So, I mean, she's probably the best example of a character you get late that doesn't become obsolete. Other characters like Hanneman and Manuela, and especially Setith, and they're a little bit more questionable. I was able to do...
Speaking of using characters, I got a good paralog battle story.
Okay, go for
it. Maybe slightly spoilerish. How much do we care?
If it's super major plot points, you probably care.
Not really.
If it's personal character stuff, not so much.
Yeah, it's neither really.
Okay.
So there's a paralog battle where Caspar, of all people, is forced to fight against the Death Knight.
I love it already.
And if you've never used him, I've never used Caspar before. Never. He was one of the last 2 people I recruited. Never used him. This fight separates him from the party and pretty much puts him one-on-one with the Death Knight.
Oh my god.
You do not have to fight the Death Knight. You don't have to do it. He doesn't want to fight. He will not attack you if you don't attack.
Yeah, he tends not to.
So, if you kill the Death Knight with Caspar, you will get a relic weapon.
Nice.
If you don't, you get no relic weapon.
So how'd you thread this needle?
Yeah, right. I ended up putting Alois on as his adjutant, right? He has a defensive ability, and I had to attack him once because he'll just sit there if you don't. He pretty much nearly dead, right? You got at any point if you get critical by the Death Knight, this strategy is over. Just for the record. Right. You also have to be careful where you're standing because there's a healing tile nearby that the Death Knight can use, so you want to make sure you're not standing there. And if you move him and stand on the healing tile yourself, you will aggro this giant beast nearby because it's just close enough. So you can't use the healing tile nearby. So the strategy, and I've written this Fairlock battle up today. The strategy here is put a defensive adjutant on him. Hit him once to aggro him. He'll move away from the healing tile, and let him just keep attacking you. And I don't know if you know this, the defensive adjutant makes it so you don't die, but you will have 1 HP left. Because without that, he's just killing you every time, right?
Jesus.
Provided you didn't level up Casper.
So you do 6 or 7 turns with this strategy, and with somebody psychically healing you from afar, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you get a relic weapon with Caspar if you've never used him.
Well, that's probably an interesting take.
That won't be hard for me though, because like I said, he's one of my stronger characters.
Oh yeah, if he's one of your stronger characters, you're set.
Her Caspar is no, I shouldn't.
My defense is kind of low right now, but I've been focusing on resistance.
She learned a lesson late in the game because for some reason I played through until level 10, and I was focused on strength and magic and speed. Those were the stats I wanted for everybody. Those were the stats everybody got. And then later, speed is overpowered as shit. But later I went, the characters that have really high defensive stats tend to not get killed when I'm leveling up their skills. They can just sit there and face tank everything. And my brain was like, enemy attack is only going to get higher. Maybe having defenses on characters is actually important too. I know, I'm 34 and I fucking write fucking guides for RPGs, and this is took me till level 10 to go, I should probably actually start caring about my defensive stats.
Big if true.
Right? And so I was able to do some course correcting, and a lot of characters are pretty good now, but Rebecca's further along, or she didn't get that message.
Most of my characters significantly higher level than Nathan's for a while there, and I was using the strategy of if it's 5 points or higher, I took the level no matter what it was.
That was my first strategy, which turned out not to be useful.
That is a terrible strategy.
It's a terrible strategy, yes.
This is why I had to restart. So my characters are significantly better than they were.
No, she's even got... Don't let her fucking make you think she's being even remotely reasonable, because she's not. She did shit I mused about something while she was playing. I was like, you get stat boosts when you level up. I bet if you were able to thread the needle... God, I said that way too many times. If you get Lysithea... That's my word, I guess, for this day. Word of the day, or phrase of the day, thread the needle. Oh, there's 2 badasses. No wonder I died. If you get to level 10 and you grind skills, by the way, we have a guide that'll tell you how to do that. I'm not going to go over it again. And you can promote to intermediate classes that characters normally wouldn't aspire towards, I don't know, let's say Lysithea and Armored Knight. And you take level 10 Lysithea and you push her to Armored Knight, you will gain some fucking serious crazy stat boosts. Rebecca got
14 points.
No, you got 16 points. You got 3 strength. You got 3 strength, 3 hit point. No, you got 3 strength, 3 hit points, 3 luck, and 7 defense.
I don't know what I got with it.
I remember, I saw it. That's what you got with Lysithea. No, that was for Lysithea.
Yeah, Lysithea was.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't remember if she was 14 or 16.
She was 16. So Lysithea went from 4 defense to 11 defense, which is, in the world of Fire Emblem, a huge fucking boost. It means you're going to take damage from most things at that level to you're not going to take much damage from most things at level.
It's great.
Like enemies, some of the stronger enemies at that point might have 20 attack, but most things will be like 14, 17. So
I looked at him and he had these you can see the gears working in his head, and I said, "Don't you start over?"
No.
I don't think you were actually seriously considering it, but
no, I was thinking about
there that you were.
I was thinking about rewriting some parts of the guide to encourage that, but I was like, no, I haven't written about like all the classes and shit, and I'll just talk about it there. Because frankly, that's such a fucking needlessly min-max thing to do. Like, you really can't do it if you're not playing in normal mode, and if you're playing in normal mode, you don't need it. As much as it pains me to say that. And another, like, if anyone's listening to this at some point and you think, I should restart and do it, don't. Lysithea's fucking max defense is like 39. If you're judicious with leveling, you'll get there. So
It was pretty awesome, though.
yeah, I mean if you're just starting new and you care about it, yeah, by all means. Get Lysithea Axe, right? And if you get her axe to C, which is really easy to do because low strength characters are super easy to level up in martial skills.
Yeah, she didn't even level up. Like, she wasn't able to kill anything.
Yeah, I mean,
her
yeah.
axe to, I think I got it well above C. I think I got it to B because I was also using her to raise other people's skills using Adjutant.
Yeah.
Even still at level fucking 10 before she was even switched to an Armored Knight.
But I mean, if you can pull that off, yeah. See, there we go. I'll start interspersing my thread that needle with pull that off. I will have a vocabulary soon. But I mean, this is some neat shit you can do, and yeah, before you obsess too much about characters and their stats, you know, go look at our class growth rates page on the guide, because again, I'm guessing, but I kind of want to do a formula where I just take everybody's starting stats and just add 50 levels to all their stats multiplied by their growth rate. So if somebody has like a 50% growth rate in a stat and 50 levels, okay, then they're going to gain 25 points over the 50 levels. And that'll be a rough approximation of what they'll be near the end of the game if you don't grind or do preferential leveling. Excluding all bonuses gained from promoting characters, certifying them, whatever you want to call it. And I think that'll give you a good ballpark of what characters will end up as. Like Raphael, terrible fucking resist. He might end up in just barely the double digits.
Again, you can use promoting into Monk to gain resistance.
He will gain some points.
I can't remember how. I think he gained 4.
Yeah.
Resistance from me.
Definitely a strategy for your derp statted characters. The only thing that I didn't like about that was my Lysithea is level 40 and her base strength is 11. And at some point, like when she was in her 30s, low 30s, early 20 or late 20s, she might have been in, like, she might have had like 10 or 9, and that was accidental. But now it's intentional. I do not want her strength to go up because low strength Lysithea is great for adjutant leveling. Just awesome. So
yeah, it's still low enough on mine.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't go up that high, but still, it's something to consider if you want to do adjutant boosting. Having a really low strength character will make it so much fucking easier. Plus turbo controllers. God, I can't fucking recommend them enough. I don't think people listening realize how much I fucking found out about this game just by letting the controller turbo itself during some auxiliary battle.
Oh, I've been recording, like, skills and shit.
Yeah, she's been adding to that list.
Because he leveled up a bunch of his skills and he's like, shit, I didn't record those.
Well, I figured, you know, I'll just look at the character lists at the end and just go, okay, this character has all these skills and this must come from here. So. I hated doing this place in my playthrough because it's so tedious. Alright, are we done with Fire Emblem? Are we talking about Fire Emblem for nearly a fucking hour? Jesus.
How much longer this guide is going to take? It's been forever. What the hell?
Oh, God.
I'm a consumer that's badgering.
It's going to take a lot. We're not close to being done, let's be honest.
Are you even halfway done?
Google recommended a Kotaku article to me that fucking made me annoyed.
Oh, well, hold on that. Am I even halfway done? I don't think so. I mean, there's 3 playthroughs we gotta do. We're at the time skip with... Well, let's be generous and call it 2. So, and the time skip's about the halfway point, so... You can do the math there. There's a lot more to do, and that doesn't even include all the subsections. Although, I've got a lot of Tea Party shit done, so... That's getting more fleshed out by the day. However useful that might be. I mean, we got held up by bullshit. Waiting for things to get written that were not going to get written was not conducive to progress, shall I say.
You guys suck.
Yeah, we're very bad at this. So.
I didn't know where we were supposed to be going, and then I found a loot tank.
Okay, Rebecca, now you can talk about this Kotaku article.
Yeah, so the Kotaku article is like about how they really enjoyed a specific paralog battle that involved Dorothea and Ingrid, and how they're like, there's just some that you don't want to miss, but it's so hard to make sure you get them all, and they're talking about how they leveled up and recruited characters and how they're limited and how they can do it, and I'm thinking, if you knew how to play the fucking game, you could recruit almost all the fucking characters.
You are not limited.
You are not, no.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're so you have to carefully
recruit.
You have to carefully pick and choose because you have to use seminars to boost your skills for Byleth.
There's your problem right there.
And it's like, yeah, you don't know how to play the fucking game is what this is. And it just fucking pissed me off. I was like, this is the stupidest fucking thing I ever fucking read.
Oh, that's a good fucking hit it right on the head. What can I say?
They do not know how to play the game.
It's like, you're a fucking game journalist, and you, supposedly, and you don't even know how to fucking play the game that you're writing about.
There's the guy
you say you love Fire Emblem, and you don't know how to fucking play it.
There's no Dan. What was that dude's last name again?
Dan Severs?
Who? What?
Kachi.
I don't know. Who are we talking about?
The guy that couldn't play.
Oh, okay. No, I will defend that guy because he was just a tech journalist. He even said in his... He shouldn't have had to write a fucking defense article about himself, but he was not like a Polygon guy, I don't think. He's just some dude who was a tech journalist at a convention, and he played it, and yeah, he was asked to check out some of the stuff and played the game.
Probably shouldn't have put a... I mean, who was he working for? GameBeat?
I can't remember. But the real problem was all the other journalists who went, Cuphead is crushingly hard. It's like, I mean, it might be super fucking hard. Ari, how hard is Cuphead, if you can pontificate?
It's fairly hard.
Okay. Fair enough. That's what I figured it would be, but I didn't play it, so I don't want to say it's hard or fucking not hard without playing it. But if you put somebody who doesn't know, like, okay. I've seen people that aren't good at playing video games play video games. We take for granted the amount of motor skills we've mastered. Fucking around with 2 fucking analog sticks like this is not something you are born with. It's not like, we learned some impressive trade skill, but it does have its own language as far as manual dexterity goes. And if you're just some tech reporter and you don't play video games, Cuphead's gonna fuck with you. But
Cuphead probably takes a specific skill set.
Yeah, but saying it's hard, it depends who you're talking to. Are you talking to people who play video games all the time? Because if you're talking to that audience, some things aren't hard that would be hard for my mom or my nieces. So I give that guy a pass because it wasn't his thing anyways, and it was just all the other journalists who sensationalize the shit. Of course he ran downstairs. What a dickbag. This fucking game. So,
It doesn't help that he was working for Game Beat.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I mean, to be fair, all these fucking sites... I think it's safe to say they don't care about quality. They care about clicks. And in that department, mission accomplished. So... But... Yeah, but if you're going to say you love Fire Emblem, and you can't be bothered to figure out basic fucking game mechanics...
You're missing half the fucking game by doing it that way.
I mean, most characters can be recruited without too much work if you just hit, like, C rank in a weapon skill.
So we're saying this guy doesn't know that you can have people train Byleth without seminars.
Yeah, and train him a lot faster.
Didn't even mention it.
Look, when I was first playing the game, I was like, okay, these seminar things exist. They have to be useful for some reason. Like, there has to be a point to them. And having played it considerably more now, I can safely say that use seminars if you want to waste a free day and just not have to play it, but you want to gain a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
Because seminars...
It does gain some motivation, a little bit of fucking points towards the skill, and I think it... Doesn't it also increase affection between the characters a little bit?
I
don't know that.
But it's like 3 characters. It's not...
Yeah, I mean, you can get a packed house eventually, but...
It depends.
You gotta recruit a bunch of characters first.
What's the most you can do a seminar with at a time? 10? 8?
8, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it gives bonuses to several skills, I think, but...
1 to 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, but
it's still not that big of a bonus.
But you don't get to choose. You don't get to choose the characters. You don't get to choose the skills. You get to choose the faculty you train with, which gives you some choice in the skills, but not great choice.
And they're not even skills that are worth training in that way. You can train them on the battlefield.
I mean, yeah, but if you're like, I always think before I poo-poo something, can you do it in hard mode?
I don't think they were playing hard mode.
Well, probably not.
Because if you're like, the writer
oh,
was like,
fuck Christ's sakes,
talking about how they were using their points to play auxiliary battles and stuff to make sure that they're keeping their characters leveled up. Maybe they were playing it in hardcore mode. But even still, there's better ways to train your fucking skills.
Well, yeah, like just doing faculty training with Byleth to target the skills you actually need.
Yeah, exactly.
How did we get party wiped by a fucking badass Goliath?
Maybe I should join you. You guys playing with 4 people?
Yeah. This is one of the things I fucking hate about Borderlands. Like, why even give us a health bar if things one-shot us? It never made any goddamn sense to me why Borderlands does that. Masturbatory math is all it is. There we go. And for loot like that, it was all worth it. But, so Rebecca was greatly aggrieved by this Kotaku article that didn't understand basic things. Rebecca, not everybody...
Basic things about the game, and the article itself was pointless. It was like, I liked this particular paralog battle. I'm not going to articulate why I liked it exactly, but I liked it, and...
It's one of the bigger SJW battles.
I don't like how it's difficult to...
Greg.
Make sure that you get what you want.
You know, in this context, I'm going to say you're wrong.
It's the close... Okay. What context? The context I'm using is not to stir up drama. It's the fact that there's not very many SJW issues present in this game, and this is one of the closest to that subject as you can get.
And in arranged marriage, I guess. women fight. See, I don't want to use like something's SJW when a woman just acts autonomously. I don't want to give them that wide of a berth.
This is about as close as you get.
Yeah, to be fair.
In this game.
To be fair, and it's not all that close, but.
Man, had to fight for that point.
Get the fuck out of cover. God, you fuckers are annoying. Stand out in the open where I can kill you. Damn. I actually got a legendary shield that was pretty good. Gives me
I got a legendary shield that was pretty good too.
Gives me like 25% weapon damage when my shield is depleted. Does a Nova when it's depleted.
Yeah, those Novas are kind of nice when people are up on you.
Has really low capacity, but super fast recharge rate and speed. So it's just there to go down all the time and give me boosts.
I was using the one that you get as a bonus for pre-ordering the game until.
I'm not sure,
well,
but
this gives you a 10% experience boost and a drop in loot rate. This
might be one of the shields I want as a Siren. Oh, Jared, you seem to know more about builds than any other characters. I got a legendary relic that makes my hit points 1. There's a class that's good for, right?
Yeah, Mose.
Mose? Okay. I also got a legendary Mose class mod. So the game is like, hey, you should have played Mose. Fuckers.
Is it Mose? I like saying Mosey.
I actually don't know.
How's it spelled?
M-O-Z-E.
Let's see, what is this? This is a legendary.
I just like the word.
Artifact. No, it's a purple artifact.
Like
it's a unique. Whenever I slot, I shoot out 3 explosive soul blades.
Nice. Oh, that's from beating a boss, right? Okay, yeah, I have that one. Alright, so should we get to Blizzard, finally?
Right.
Oh, man. So, I'll play the straight man.
Before that, you mentioned Cuphead.
Oh. Right, okay. Yeah, we can segue into this. There is a game that is a Cuphead clone. Actually, this is a good one, too. This is a good story. We got a lot of good stories this podcast. Especially since I want Greg's taste, since he's so offended by Zelda ripoffs. What was this game called? Enchanted Portal or something? Okay,
this
good.
cat just threw a barrel at me. This is clearly a Donkey Kong ripoff.
Shut up, Rebecca. But seriously. I mean, they had a monster called Monkey Kong or whatever, and fucking...
Yeah.
Monkey, whatever the fuck. Right? Ratchinichu, thank you.
You killed they had the Ghostbusters thing.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a game called Enchanted Portal, and to call it a Cuphead ripoff is probably the fairest thing you could say about it. It uses the same art style, and it's a 2D action platformer where you shoot things at super well animated, incredibly charismatic bosses. So calling this a ripoff is entirely fair, but it looks really fucking good. Like, if you're gonna do a ripoff of something, this is how you do a ripoff of it. Like, they nailed the aesthetic, and the animation is just... It is not a lazy fucking bastardization.
What is it again?
Enchanted Portal, yeah. I can probably send you a link.
I'm incapable. This is not a Cuphead ripoff, is the first thing that pops up.
It's a Cuphead ripoff. So, let Greg watch and...
people are...
not happy. People are not happy.
Yeah, they're already getting backlash over it.
But guys, it's not a Cuphead ripoff. They said so.
We'll let Greg watch, and the general consensus is a Cuphead ripoff. Me, having watched it...
I'm watching the trailer right now.
As an impartial gamer, it's Cuphead ripoff. We'll see Greg's verdict here. So, well, Jared, you've seen it. What's your verdict?
Oh boy. Yeah. It just got to the gameplay part, and this is a very, very much a Cuphead ripoff.
But doesn't it look good? Like, if you like Cuphead, you have to like this, right?
Yeah.
So this is where I want to go. It is a shameless Cuphead ripoff. And to that, I want to say, anyone who wants to do, like, a shameless ripoff of Baldur's Gate, like that, or a shameless ripoff of Legacy of Kain, or a shameless ripoff of Dungeon Keeper, please rip that shit off.
Yeah, if they're not gonna do it.
Like, if other... Like, it's not even fair to say, because, obviously, Cuphead's not that old of a game. It just came out, so it's not like they're not gonna do it.
No, I mean, for the ones that use...
But if you like the game, right... Good, let them rip it off. You're getting more of what you like. I don't see the outrage from this. I mean, everything is standing on the shoulders of giants. Some things are more blatant than others. There were millions of Diablo clones back in the day, millions of StarCraft clones back in the day. If any of them were as competent ripoffs as this is looking like it's going to be of Cuphead, good. I mean, nothing about the art style or gameplay is trademarked. It's an homage. Fuck it. I, as a consumer, presumably get more of what I want. So, that's exactly what I said on Facebook. Good. I wish more competent developers would see a genre or a game I liked and went, yeah, I'm going to do that.
They're making a Netflix show for Cuphead?
Oh, God, how do you... Well, no, it's based on 1930s cartoons, but...
They're making an animated show based on Cuphead. That's great. I didn't know that.
That's actually kind of cool.
Okay, Cuphead itself is kind of a ripoff on, like, the this is fine. This is fine.
So you're not upset about this?
No.
Okay, tell me why you're upset about that Breath of the Wild ripoff, then.
They're using, like, the same fucking assets.
This
is not using the same assets.
I can't.
These are probably all hand-drawn from scratch.
I can't substantiate that, but... Style. Okay, obviously...
I believe it's one person doing that, too.
Holy shit, are they good, then?
No, this article has them talking to two different people, though.
It's one person doing the animation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Look, if you're not pulling direct assets, if you're not doing a blatant copy job, by all means, be inspired. And I'll say this in a way that affects me.
Like how you agree with me.
I mean, I think I'm consistent in my own thing. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of that Zelda game. I looked at videos, but I didn't play Breath of the Wild, so I can't look at anything and go, yep, that was right in Breath of the Wild. If there are things that are similar, I guess.
You can look at pictures and tell.
If it's the exact same thing...
Yeah, that's
like
what
if you're stealing assets, exactly. Like if something vague, like, well, this game has a Kraken monster, and that game has a Kraken monster. Every game has a fucking Kraken monster.
That is not what I'm saying.
I don't know.
I'm saying China is basically just... I'm assuming it was a Chinese game. Maybe I'm bad.
Well, how very dare you?
How dare I assume. They're just taking assets and replacing them into their own game.
Oh, and I've been informed by Twitch that Greg is no longer allowed to participate in this podcast.
Wait, what?
Why?
I didn't mean China. Was that it? That must have been it.
There's the joke.
Fucking Winnie the Pooh.
Okay, seriously, you're gonna get us kicked off of Twitch. You're already fucking banned from Blizzard, so... We'll get to it. Don't you worry. Oh, they're behind me.
See, I don't know what this Blizzard thing is, because
We'll get to it.
Oh, how juicy.
So, it's all new to me.
Oh, we'll get to it. But yeah,
I saw some things about people saying stuff about Blizzard, but I didn't really get a chance to read it, because I've been at work.
But to put my money where my mouth is, if there's any aspiring guide writers out there, and you happen to have suffered brain damage at some point in your life and you think my shit is funny, or you like my snark or my writing style, by all means,
I took some of your formatting.
Yeah, emulate me. Emulate my shit. Fucking.
Someone have even asked you how to do it.
I've let somebody do it before. I let them copy all my formatting. If you like that shit, do it. Take my shit, copy it verbatim. Don't fucking take my Baldur's Gate guide and fucking, replace my name with yours. That's more along the lines of what Greg was saying is bad. But if you think you can do a better Baldur's Gate guide than me, by all fucking means, you fucking ride that fucking Bronco. If you're pissy that I haven't done a Planescape Torment guide yet, and you want a HaeravonFAQs style thing for it, and you think you can do it, fucking tear that shit apart. By all means. Because the world could use more good fucking guides in it. And I think mine are good. So, the more like mine out there, the better. And I'm not worried about direct competition, because if it comes to it, I think I can still do it better. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about emulation. I'm not worried about it. So that's where I stand on this shit, from a personal standpoint, when it comes to things that might affect me. There's just... I don't feel threatened. And imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so flatter the shit out of me. Now, let's move on to Blizzard finally, right? Well, yeah. I have pride in my work. Everything I look at that I've written, I hate. And then I fix and make it better, and I like it until I read it again. And I try to write good shit. I think I put more effort into my guides than a lot of people do, and I think I make better guides than most people do. So yeah. Okay. I'm an arrogant motherfucker.
Any chance I get, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean...
Okay, let me pose this question to Greg. You haven't looked at other guides, Greg. Oh, this fucking looks like shit.
Okay, I mean, see, that's like... I'm damning myself with faint praise there, because saying my guides are better than most is like saying, well, I mean, I only misspelled words once every sentence. Like, I don't... That sentence didn't make any sense, but at least I'm not talking about how you can or move the camera to upskirt a girl in the middle of my Final Fantasy 13-2 guide. The bar is really fucking low, guys. So
just the way I like it.
Hey, Jared, remember that Borderlands guide you had to fix? I mean,
I don't know where we're supposed to go, so if you're following me, then we're not going the right way, because I'm totally lost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going fucking back the way. Goddamn woman.
Following me.
Yeah. Ari's a follower, and I just like to follow because I like to focus on talking and reading the news stories.
We'll follow
but seriously,
together and get nowhere.
When it comes to guide writing, the bar is really low. If you can form a coherent sentence, you're automatically in the top 50%. And that's a shame, but, you get what you pay for, and most people don't pay for guides. So, if you can do something clever, like rip off a quote you read in a book somewhere, you're in the top 70%, because now your guides have flavor. If you can set up something long-term, string people along, maybe do a joke over time that will eventually pay off, just do shit to amuse yourself because you have to fucking write this thing, you're going to get a fan base. That's the way it is. So. But, okay, let's go to Blizzard. Hearthstone Pro banned by Blizzard after calling for Hong Kong liberation during a stream.
Anybody play Hearthstone?
It is a card game, right?
It is a card game, yes.
I would play it because I like card games, but then Blizzard told me that the game wasn't worth playing because it's free. So I went, okay.
I do like playing card games. I have a coworker who used to be... He's of the fuck Blizzard mentality right now. But,
good.
And I love him for that. He used to be major into Hearthstone, so he says that in order to stay competitive, they do about 3 expansions a year. In order to stay competitive, you gotta spend about $50 per expansion to make sure that you get the legendary cards that you need to be... He's talking competitive play, right?
Yeah.
Like top tier competitive play.
That's actually lower than I thought it was.
They do about 3 a year, so it's about $150 if you want to be a serious competitive Hearthstone player. I wanted to throw that out there just for trivia, facts, whatever.
And to be fair, you need to spend about the only card game I played recently is Magic the Gathering, and it varies, but generally $200 to $400 will get you a pretty good deck, and most of those cards can remain in standard for up to 2 years. So do with that information what you will. If you're not frugal, you can easily spend like $200 on 4 cards, but kind of just depends on what's in standard at the time, and yeah. So $150 per year actually doesn't seem that bad, but I mean, I'm sentimental, so when I spend $150, I don't want to go, I'm going to spend $150 so I can enjoy a card game for a year. I want to look back at that $150 and go, yeah, I spent $150 and I owned this. So these type of games just fundamentally don't gel with my value proposition. Are we waiting for something? What are we... Oh, elevator here?
Oh, my inventory got full, so I went to the thing.
Oh, okay. Rebecca's holding us up. I bought a Sliver Queen card for $45 a while back. And it's not because I was going to play with it, although I might make a Sliver deck, you never know. But I had one as a kid, and now I'm getting older, so I want the things that I had when I was a kid. So I had to get this card I had back in the day, and it cost about $40, which is a lot for a fucking card. And well, then it spiked up to $200, so and then it dropped back down to 100 at 127 right now. So from an economic standpoint, I'm okay with it, but it's a lot for a fucking card. But I got my card. I'm happy because I could probably sell it for twice what I paid for it, and it's hard to not be pissed or hard to be pissy about that. But at the end of the day, it's a card I fucking remember playing with as a kid, and I just like to look at it sometimes, so that's where I get my value.
Pulls it out of the box or whatever it's in, and just kind of looks at it.
Pet it a little bit, stroke it lovingly. Think to myself, back in the day when I owned you, 5'3", I still thought I would grow more. But alas, I'm still short. Oh well. But yeah. Anyways, onto the story we giving about. Let's get past the updates. Original story. Okay. Footage of an official Blizzard interview with a Hong Kong-based professional Hearthstone player has been taken offline after the player expressed support for the protest in Hong Kong. And I might be butchering this because I don't follow all the politics of Southeast Asia as well as maybe I should in today's world, but China was trying to pass a law that would allow extradition of criminals, quote-unquote criminals.
That's how it all started.
Yes.
That's how the whole Hong Kong thing started.
China wanted to allow extradition of so-called criminals from Hong Kong to countries that Hong Kong currently doesn't have extradition laws with, including, I think Taiwan and China itself. And obviously, when you're dealing with an oppressive-ass regime, and I'm going to be very careful here, make sure I'm not throwing stones in a glass house, America is entirely complicit in a lot of the same shit China is doing. Two of the big things they're doing is oppressing free speech by cracking down on people who are saying shit the regime doesn't like. And if you don't think that's America, just watch fucking Trump complain about the whistleblower and wishing he could execute them, and tell me we're not doing a lot of the same shit. Look at me in the fucking face. I goddamn dare you.
When people say America, and this is one idiot that happened to get elected,
who happens to be the president and has a rabid fan base of 30% of the country, and unflinching support of one of the two political parties. I mean, it's not just one guy. It's not an aberration. Also take in mind the Patriot Act and all that shit. Which is a bipartisan issue that the government, and Microsoft selling all their shit and blah, 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 blah. I could go on and on, but focus on China for a bit here. Extradition to China is a bad thing. If you look at how they've oppressed the Uyghurs, you can see why anyone would be wary of China gaining more legal power, especially the extradition power. They're putting ethnic minorities in fucking re-education camps to the tune of like 1 million people. And ironically, a lot of this shit started right when that Uyghur region got 3G, and then government surveillance came with it, and they built, and this was in like 2011, I think, and they built a database. And through that, we're able to crack down on undesirables. And this is fucking police state bullshit. I don't like it when people, frivolously bring up 1984, but this is 1984 in a nutshell. Is fucking Big Brother monitoring your shit and then re-educating you out of wrongthink. And that's what China has started doing last decade. Yeah. So, you can see, it's pretty easy to see why people in Hong Kong would be, let's say, wary of this development. And they've been, I don't even want to call it rioting. I don't care if it's rioting. They're justified if they're rioting. I would encourage rioting too.
Well, the lawmakers took it back, but they didn't repeal it. They just weren't going to do it. They never said that they're not going to bring it back again in the future.
Yeah.
So it went from protests 2-3 weeks. Lawmakers oh shit, they stopped. They said they wouldn't do it, but they didn't go far enough because once they got the taste. And now we're at week 16, week 17.
Oh yeah, they will totally bring this back when they think that they've eroded political will. And by eroded political will, I mean, I don't want to sound conspiratorial here, but it's solely a conspiracy. Some of the prominent members of these Hong Kong protests could get disappeared in the next few years, and then the bill could come back. I wouldn't put that past China at all. So, I think they're right. And also, Hong Kong wants a redress for different grievances like police brutality. And, when there are fucking armed fucking pigs on one side shooting tear gas canisters and using riot shields, and on the other side there are fucking people protesting, their civil rights being eroded, and the fucking government's oh, these poor cops, these vicious rioters, attack them. I am always going to side with the fucking people. Always.
Well, to be fair,
I don't want to be fair.
the deal that China had with Britain when they gave Hong Kong back was set to expire in 2082 or so in the future at some point. So
yeah,
they may be rioting now over these laws that China was trying to introduce, but it was going to come anyways. And
yeah,
in my mind, they're doing this early because this was all going to come.
I mean, but that doesn't mean they're wrong.
No,
they might be doomed, but they're right, I think.
Yeah, well, if it's not these guys, it's going to be the next people. The next generation.
I know, and I mean, I hope that China's population will become too educated to put up with authoritarian bullshit, but...
Yeah, it's not probably...
In America, I've seen how authoritarian bullshit worked for over the course of 2 generations to make us dumb enough to accept it. So, I don't really have high hopes in that. People standing up for their basic civil liberties tends not to happen until those civil liberties have been eroded to the point where you are just looking at an armed insurrection. People never... It's kind of like that...
It's the frog in the...
It's the frog in the saucepan. Where the water's heated up slowly and frog doesn't fucking notice it until it's fucking boiled. So, and that's the way it goes with civil rights. I mean, that's why you can scoff at people making supposed fucking mountains out of molehills, but you don't want it to become a fucking mountain. So you gotta take care of those fucking molehills in a world where molehills become mountains. I digress again. Ivan Global first reported that Niguai Blitzchung, who I'm always just going to call Blitzchung from now on because I can actually pronounce that, expressed his support of protests while being interviewed by the official Taiwanese Hearthstone organization.
This is the Hearthstone champion from the tournament.
Oh, he won the entire tournament?
He won the tournament.
Okay.
That's why he was interviewed.
Okay, yeah. Following his win against South Korean player. Yeah. Good enough to do that. During the interview, Chung wore a face mask on camera. It was a reference to the government issue ban on wearing face masks while protesting. You know, so they can fucking deal with you later if they need to. Something Hong Kong protesters have been doing to protect their identity, something I also support wholeheartedly. Chung's support of the Hong Kong protests was solidified later in the interview when he shouted, "Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our age." And if this sounds...
That's all he said.
Yes. Well, while the fucking casters hid beneath a desk and giggled. And if this sounds all fucking macho and hardcore, it's a bunch of fucking Asian nerds, granted making a political protest, but, you know, the squeaky high voice and the general goofiness of it doesn't really make it, like, that bold of a fucking political issue. Unfortunately, Blizzard couldn't leave well enough alone and had to go Streisand effect all over this shit. So they cited violations of tournament guidelines and
I love this part.
Engaging in any act that in Blizzard's sole discretion brings you into public disrepute, offends a portion or group of the public, or otherwise damages Blizzard image will result in removal from Grandmasters and reduction of the player's prize total to $0, in addition to other remedies which may be provided for under the handbook and Blizzard's website terms. So what they did is they took his prize money away and they banned him from Hearthstone for a year.
His prize money was $10,000 for reference.
Oh shit.
And just to let everybody know, Tencent, a Chinese company, owns a 5% share of Blizzard Activision. How much of a role that played, I don't know, because Tencent actually tends to be fairly hands-off. But
that is true, but every big company like this is kind of the answer to the China, you know, the leaders.
And obviously
they're government owned is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, China does things a little differently. It's harder to draw the line between something the government has a hand in and something. Well, that's not untrue about America too,
China,
given our subsidies. Well, yeah, but that's true in America too. They just pretend they don't and cite independence while holding their hand out for taxpayer subsidies. So they're just less hypocritical about it.
It's the other way around. In China. In the U.S., the corporations own our government. In China, the government owns the corporations.
Yeah, I don't think either of those are perfect examples, but we're not here to go into nuance, so we'll just take that as it stands. Definitely, well, no, that is kind of actually fair, because China will exert pressure through its corporations to achieve policy goals, while American corporations exert pressure on the government to achieve business goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fair enough difference.
So, what this boiled down to for a lot of gamers is Blizzard, presumably to avoid offending China, infringed on the political speech of a gamer. And now, before we fucking go any further into this, we'll say, yes, it's not a fucking First Amendment thing. He isn't entitled to it, because nothing he did involved America directly, and it's a government suppression, not a corporate suppression, so Twitch can totally take away your ability to speak on their platform, just like Blizzard can take away your ability to play their game. That's just how it works. That's if you want to be a stickler about free speech and First Amendment issues.
Well, I will say yes, but then I will also say that University of Auburn students did the same thing, and guess what happened to them?
What was the story behind the University of Auburn?
Not the same fucking thing. Nothing happened to them is the answer.
Okay.
So, even if Blizzard wants to say that this is how we do things, they're fucking lying to you.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. At least half of their revenue, I think, comes from China. Does half their revenue come from the University of Auburn?
They've actually covered that online. About 5% of the revenue.
5%? Wow. Yeah. This is about as much as 10 cent stock. Okay. I thought it was way more than that. Well, the point is...
Even then, less of that comes from China. Like, lots of it comes from South Korea.
Okay. I know China is a burgeoning gaming market, and a lot of companies have...
When you talk about potential,
yeah.
I mean, there's a ceiling and a floor to all this shit, right?
Their GDP is increasing. They've got 1 billion people.
Basketball draft today, so like I'm all about potential and shit, right?
Okay, you're gonna statistics us.
You could take all the money they're making in the U.S., make them a Chinese company, kick them the fuck out of America. They would have a lot more money. The ceiling is so much higher,
and that's where they're going. By the way, I mean they are moving to expand into that market, and a lot of companies are doing that. And the more they cater to that market, the less they'll cater to our market. They want both, but I'm not sure they can thread that needle.
Oh my goodness. This is why he has a fan base. Look at the dedication to the joke.
There you go. God damn, I'm fucking good at this. I'm in the 1% of guide authors. Let's just be honest here.
Too bad you don't get paid like...
Oh, well, I do get paid like 1% of guide authors. It's just it's a low bar.
Our ceiling is pretty low.
Yeah, we're talking about statistical stats and our fucking ceilings and floors and potentials.
You know which 1% I was talking about.
Oh, okay, the global 1%. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, I have too much morality.
1%, 'cause you are that.
Yeah. And this shit's just these sorts of conflicts, maybe not when it comes to like speech, but definitely with taste, are going to be an increasing issue. The Asian market likes slightly different things. Like, I'm not going to say they like mobile games. Well, they do like mobile games more, I think, but it's not to say it's not popular in America and won't become more popular. Unfortunately, I hate it, but it doesn't mean it's not true. And, you know, China is a regime that doesn't tolerate shit. And if you say things that the fucking Winnie the Pooh and Chief doesn't fucking like, then yeah, you could face reprisals for it.
Off Switch.
Get a kiss off Twitch. You already said it, so I'm still blaming you. Oh, we're sitting here fighting a Tink Sentry. So suffice to say, there was tremendous backlash against this by the fan base. A lot of people decided that they were going to disassociate themselves from Blizzard. And Blizzard did.
Still the #1 growing community on Reddit right now.
The fuck Blizzard. Oh, it still is. Okay, so like most internet movements and boycotts, they full of shit. But Blizzard didn't help themselves. Their first action, apparently, after people started vocally deleting their accounts, was to somehow run into technical difficulties where the various means by which you could authenticate your attempt to delete your account wasn't working.
So scummy.
Wow.
And mind you,
they chronicled 4 different ways that Blizzard stopped people from doing this.
Yeah. And mind you, some of these are premium accounts that I think you have to pay a subscription for. So, essentially, taking your ability to cancel it via credit card or other information means they're kind of just making you pay for a service you don't want anymore.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Call your bank and shit. And
yeah, how many people did that?
Plenty of people have done that, I'm sure.
You'd have to if they refuse
you can't just
to
say
allow
no.
you to cancel.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that they got these people bent over a barrel, but making someone actually have to call their bank to do it is way more effort than just clicking on the "fuck you Blizzard" button.
Yeah. Agreed.
And
I'm not saying it's not shitty at Blizzard. I'm just saying I hope they fucking didn't get fraud.
Can you, like, just to get Ari back in this conversation, can you imagine if WWE did this after Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, if they wouldn't let you cancel your network subscription.
I mean, that's basically what they fucking did.
And I've thought about doing that just because I'm really not interested anymore.
I'm not giving
after Hell in a Cell.
I'm not giving them any more of my money with the Saudi Arabia shit. But let's not digress too much.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, that was WWE was on at work.
I'm sorry.
Today, I think. And somebody was like, "What is this shit?" And I look up and I'm like, "It's shit." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "It's WWE. It's shit."
Well, you're not wrong.
Changed it, but
you're not wrong.
Reigns versus Seth Rollins.
I heard that was actually a pretty good match, but
I didn't watch it.
It's hard to have a bad match with Seth Rollins.
Yeah, but.
Anywho, because Greg's eyes are glazing out. They're glazing over there. Oh, enemy spawn behind me.
I see like fire and acid and stuff all over the ground. What the fuck is going on?
I hate this part. I resent you, Rebecca, for not being on the podcast last time because now I'm having to do this for a third time.
What's that?
The area right before you fight that ice chick boss. Goddamn long ass story. But we got more news on that later on. Blizzard employees staged a walkout over this suspension.
Wow.
This is from PC Gamer. Blizzard's harsh punishment of former Hearthstone Grandmaster Blitzchung over his call for the liberation of Hong Kong caused a powerful backlash against the company. Within the company itself, as a small number of employees walked out of work yesterday afternoon to protest its actions. One employee who took part in the walkout said participation fluctuated between 12 and 30 people over the course of the day, which represents a tiny fragment of the company's total workforce. But employees gathered at Blizzard's famed Orc statue, a highly symbolic location. Overwatch director Jeff Kaplan said earlier this year that Blizzard personnel do a champagne toast in front of the statue whenever a game ships. That's within view of executive offices. Some of the text surrounding this statue includes placards that say, "Think globally" and "Every voice matters."
Core values.
So
These are their core values.
Some of the employees apparently took some paper and taped over the "Every voice matters" placard.
Oh, nice.
Nice act of defiance there.
Yeah.
And this was going around on the internet for a while, so it was extra delicious. And then Blizzard, as you do when you are totally in the right and justified, reduced the suspension to half a year and gave Blitzchung back his prize money. Damage control, just FYI, this is exactly why you should, at every opportunity, every potential grievance, bitch and moan to your heart's content. Because it can affect things. And really, in this fucking economy, it's your only redress when it comes to corporations doing shitty things.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I guess the final bit of news to this story is that a Hearthstone caster, Nathan Zamora, stepped down over the Blitzchung controversy. Says he's not going to be doing this anymore. I think the Blitzchung guy got offered a job somewhere else, casting or playing a different game.
They even paid his reward money.
So hopefully the
card game apparently.
Yeah, hopefully the only people that suffer from this are Blizzard, and I hope they do indeed suffer from this. But like I said before, the only way you can have redress of grievances as a consumer is if you throw a tantrum and stop giving them your money.
Well, they also issued the statement, right, saying when they gave him when they gave him his money back and said only half a year suspension, they issued a statement, right? Nowhere in there did they apologize. And even better, they issued it at like 5 or 6 p.m. U.S. time. Guess what time it was in China?
8 3 in the morning? Oh, 8
or 8 a.m. 8 a.m. The beginning of the day. And the Chinese statement says that we will continue to protect the dignity and... Fuck, I'd have to look it up. The dignity and class of China no matter what.
Okay. This is where I have to go on a bit of a spiel, because there's nothing I hate more in the world than fucking patriotism. In my brain, it's a dirty word. The state does not... JFK had it completely wrong. The state does not exist to serve... Or people do not exist to serve the state. The state exists to serve people. That's the only thing that matters in a fucking state, are its constituent members. And ideally, it will help improve the well-being of everybody involved. Some people are going to have to make sacrifices for the well-being of the whole. That is true. But I also agree with the statement that you can judge how well society is by how poorly it treats the lowest among it, the worst off among it. So this whole dignity of the state, this fucking faux patriotism they do, sponsored by the Pentagon at every fucking sports event, I hate it. There is nobody who is less of a fucking patriot than those who have to be seen being patriotic. And if you don't care about the people, if you don't care about fucking homeless, sick, gay, whatever marginalized groups, you don't care about the fucking state. You just don't. You're a fucking opportunist that is wrapping yourself in a flag. Any fucking perpetual fucking grifter, conman scumbag can go hug a flag. I think we've seen that. It means nothing. The state has no honor or no dignity aside from what the people that are its constituent members have. So, I don't believe in that whole greater good fucking love the state bullshit. And I'm a goddamn socialist! So...
in this instance, it is... The crazy thing is, like, what does Blizzard not expect anybody to read Chinese?
Or for people to translate it and say, yeah, they're still full of shit, guys.
Yeah, like in this instance, this is just so obviously they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They will do whatever it takes to make their Chinese overlords happy.
And they are right to do so. You know why they're right to do so? Because they are a corporation. And we live in a world where we have given corporations the inexcusably fucking stupid out from every bad thing they do by saying, well, they're just an amoral money-making machine. It is their job to make money and not care about anything else.
Yeah, well, it's hard to make money if you're pissing off the consumers.
You'd think so, and yet all the fucking richest corporations exclusively fuck consumers. So obviously that's not a metric that really matters. There is a lot of misery you can introduce before you start losing money. And if you introduce misery at a correct clip to piss people off, but not enough to make them stop giving you money, you can destroy all your competition and then introduce more misery because they don't have anywhere else to fucking go anymore.
Yeah, they definitely do that.
So, I used to buy that argument, and this wasn't too long ago. I've known you, Greg, since I've changed on this. I used to buy the argument that corporations were amoral, and, that's just the way they are. You cannot like it, you shouldn't like it, they're evil, but it's not their job to do anything but make money. But then I realized, and this should have been an obvious fucking thing, corporations are run by people. And these people know what they're fucking doing. It's not an accident that they plan to introduce this misery and crush their competition and fuck the consumer at every turn. Nobody went, oopsie, we accidentally fucking squelched his free speech on behalf of China. There was none of that. It was intentional. It was done with malicious forethought. So all this fucking shit about corporations being amoral. Alright? But all this talk about corporations being amoral, it's an excuse to give the greedy sociopaths that run them a pass. They don't deserve it, and if that's what corporations are, corporations should be made illegal. They should be fucking outright banned. They should be, at the very least, redefined so they exist in some state that doesn't burden society with their fucking excesses. That's where I stand now.
Well, there's got to be lines.
There are lines, and it is our job as participants in government and civil society to go, this is a line. You cannot do this. And I think one of the things we can do is go, if you outright declare that you are a parasitic, money-making enterprise that doesn't care about the rights of the consumers, the environment, or anything else, then you don't deserve to do business. And there are a lot of businesses that don't deserve to exist. Like, if you do not pay your employees a living wage, you don't really deserve to exist. I don't think you deserve to do business.
On purpose, so that they can, like Walmart, they know exactly where the welfare line is, right?
Yeah,
they know exactly.
Yep.
How much they can and can't pay their employee. Because they do that shit on purpose to make the government, aka you and me and my tax money,
subsidize their wages.
Subsidize their fucking wages. How is that legal?
Like, think about this. Because this is an argument, like, some libertarians complain about the burden on government, right? And when you talk about raising wages, what about small businesses? If you can't run a business without paying a living wage, you don't deserve to run a business.
Then don't run the business.
Right? And this and they whine about that. That's just unrealistic. You'll put people out of fucking work. Yeah, we put a lot of people out of work when we closed all those fucking plantations in the 1860s. They couldn't fucking run without slaves. Guess what? Too fucking bad. You're not obligated to run a business at any fucking consequence. Some things are more important, like the well-being of fucking the society as a whole.
And the big problem with this, like, I see all the corporations and all the greed every day. Like, nobody jumps and fucking riots over it, right? The big problem here, of course, is that this is an example of China making a U.S. company do something that we all assume they wouldn't ordinarily do. That is fucking dangerous.
Yeah, but see, corporations, like, as globalization continues apace, corporations are largely becoming more and more amorphous, and, like, that's why people today will still argue about, oh man, if we had Hillary Clinton, we could have had TPP and all the evil that would have brought.
Background.
Yeah,
especially in the tech world.
Yeah,
like I've seen some shit, right?
Yeah. No,
you cannot let this stand.
No, you can't, and that means you have to stop allowing corporations to exist as they currently do, because if they are only beholden.
What I said earlier about how our corporations control our government.
Yeah. I mean, that's a direct line. You got a direct line between corporate power, like. It's an especially evil relationship when it comes to China and America. And I'm not blaming China and I'm not blaming America. I'm blaming them both. You have China on one hand that will leverage corporations, and corporations on the other hand that will leverage America. And this is like a direct fucking pipeline with corporations as an intermediary for whatever fucking corporate ambition China wants. Whatever policy goals they have. And I would say to some extent it could possibly work the other way around, but it hasn't. Not since we sold out the American worker so the Waltons could become obscenely wealthy. So the only recourse, and this is an economic thing. This is a economic structure thing. Capitalism is the fucking problem here. Capitalism might create wealth. It might be a good thing. But it'll eat your fucking children if you do not chain it and muzzle it. That's why democratic socialism is a good fucking thing. Shit we had back in the 1950s, like when that fucking commie Eisenhower was in charge. That's the shit we need to aspire towards again. High tax rates that fucking incentivize reinvestment, a welfare state that protects people from the fucking worst excesses of the state, and massive fucking regulation to keep corporations from fucking us all over. And if you don't do that, if you're not willing to do that, you don't get to complain about this, because this is a natural consequence of where this heads. This is just, if you allow corporations to be amoral, money-making machines, they will violate your rights at every opportunity to make a buck. It is their job. That's all there is to it, in my opinion. And I will go a step further, because there are a lot of people that are complaining about this. Like, as far as I can tell, the gaming community is like almost completely aligned.
You fuck with gamers, right?
Well, yeah, no, gamers, like, I haven't seen gamers... I haven't seen gamers united by anything since Blizzard asked if we had phones.
Yeah, which is last year. It's like they're like, hey, hold my beer. Watch this.
Oh, yeah, you thought that fucking Command and Conquer shit was bad. I gotcha. Command and Conquer's been dead for a while, but everyone loves Diablo. But gamers never unite. But I just want to say, if you didn't support people like Colin Kaepernick when he was fucking taking his knee to protest a faux fucking patriotism at American football games, and you somehow think that you're now a free speech warrior because Blitzchung lost his shit. No.
They didn't. He wasn't protesting faux patriotism.
He was protesting police brutality against black people.
See, there's a good reason I went.
I was just trying to undermine. I was just
calling the.
Yeah. No, I know. That's fair, but I was trying to undermine.
I'm keeping you on the road, buddy. Keep going.
I was just trying to undermine the like. Even my fucking parents are fucking delusional about this. We're like, wow, you just gotta respect America.
I know a lot of fucking military people, right? None of us think that paying the military to go to football games is a fucking good idea. None of us.
No, it's bad, terrible idea. And I hate the fetishization of the American military. We live right next to Fort Campbell. Rebecca, what signs do you see all over the fucking place?
Shit for soldiers.
I mean, but what do they call them all the time?
Hero?
Our heroes. Car dealerships. Our heroes.
Nathan, have you called me a hero lately?
No, but I know better because I was talking about this to my dad a few years ago. Because I saw something that was like, it was a church sign. We got a lot of churches around here too, by the way. Upper Tennessee. And they were like talking about our warriors. Right? Was one of the lines on there. And I was thinking about my dad, who's 20-year retired military. And I was like, this motherfucker, I bet he'd get a kick out of this if, I told him about this. So I told him, like, hey, Mike, did you ever fancy yourself a warrior when you were in the military? And that was my mistake, because I forgot this is a guy that fucking loves Arnold Schwarzenegger and the fucking giant douchebag dickhead, arrogant motherfucker. Sounds familiar. Anyways, he looked at me and said, I'm still a fucking warrior.
You fix fucking cars, dude.
He was, yeah. At the beginning of his career, he worked on really old computers that they had in like trailers and shit. Back when you had to like manually remove the sheets of memory to prevent it from overheating. And he quit that when some idiot forgot to hitch one of the computer trailers and it rolled downhill and nearly fucking killed him. And then he became a recruiter, and then he spent the last half of his career, the last 12 years or so, as a mechanic. I remember.
Super warrior there.
Yeah. I mean, he was deployed to Bosnia. I think he worked for the Big Windy company over in fucking Giebelstadt, Germany, back when they had a base there. So I remember when I'd get sick, he'd have to fucking babysit us at his work, and we'd go to the fucking hangars and just sit there and be miserable all day, smelling the fucking motor oil and shit, and yeah, seeing what a mess our fucking military really was. But, didn't actually infuse me with a negative opinion of it. I was like, oh, these are a bunch of fucking idiots doing their job. Cool. Just like every other job. Awesome.
Just like everyone else.
Just like everyone else, yeah. Just a bunch of fucking dudes sitting there fixing things. What can you say? It's a motor pool. So, disorganized, but with uncomfortable trappings of military discipline that didn't really seem to matter most of the time. So, anyways, I'm just reminiscing about bullshit. But yeah, if you didn't care about Colin Kaepernick standing up for what he did, and you fetishize the military to that extent, you probably don't get a comment about this. I mean, the government talking about fucking banning the speech of people and getting private companies to leverage their fucking grievances against individuals. That's exactly what fucking Trump did through the NFL to Colin Kaepernick. The only good thing about the Kaepernick story is we still do have some laws, and he was able to sue the fucking NFL for hopefully a good bit of money because they fucked him. And they entered into a criminal conspiracy to keep him from working after that. That's just the truth. And I can call it the truth because it was goddamn legally adjudicated as being the case, so... I just want to call out anybody who might be a hypocrite on that. Either you care about speech and don't like governments leveraging corporations to affect their goals, or you don't. This is a pretty black or white issue. And it doesn't matter if he's an uppity black person. He's still entitled to free speech.
His message, for sure. I don't know how I feel about him, like, as a person. It doesn't matter, really. But, like, I don't know, he grew up in North Dakota. Like, you're American, right? And then he goes to Kenya and says he feels at home. I mean what kind of, how big of a douchebag do you have to be?
No, that's a giant douchebag move. That'd be like me moving to fucking Germany. Oh, wait, I lived in Germany. That'd be like me moving to Poland and going, I feel at home. It felt like...
I still like his message. I'll be the first to say we should... It would be cheaper to have, like, a big old fucking, like, DOD paid knock of people watching police cams 24/7 and keeping police actually in fucking line.
Yeah.
Than to spend the amount of taxpayer money that we do on fucking lawsuits. That's what I think.
Probably. I mean...
Because obviously these police can't control themselves. I say make a branch of the fucking government to control them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to defend Colin Kaepernick on anything except him taking a fucking knee in a football stadium. I don't even care about his goddamn football career that much because, I mean, people...
Yeah, he was okay for a couple of years.
He was okay. Like, people on one side will try and inflate him, like when the NFL wasn't hiring him. He's the best quarterback ever. And I will say this. When the Green Bay Packers lost Aaron Rodgers that year and Kaepernick was out of a job, probably would have been better for the team if they hired him. But they didn't, because they're fucking craven and spineless. But I'm not going to say he's like a great quarterback, because I don't think he was. I don't care about his shit. If you're
hired him for a year.
They should have. If you're a black American and you go to Africa and you feel that it's your home, whatever, fine. I think you're delusional. I think you're like vibing on a fairy tale. It'd be like me going to Italy. Oh, I've been there too.
Yeah, but here's the thing: a lot of black Americans don't feel at home here because we make them not feel.
That's true. That is also true. Like, that is something that we as a bunch of fucking white people can ignore because they are the norm there, and here, you know, they got all the fucking baggage that comes with it, which is bullshit.
I regularly have very political conversations with one of my coworkers who's black, and these are some of the things that we talk about. And yeah, I can see how Kaepernick could feel more at home in Kenya than in the U.S.
But you'd think the culture shock was enough that he would... I don't know. I don't
think the dude could live without toilets for 2 years.
I don't know that I could go to just any...
He got enough money from the fucking NFL when he sued him.
Oh, he's definitely got enough.
He's fine now.
I will say, he spent a lot on charity. What a good guy.
Like, okay, I don't think I could go to any white person country and be like, look at all these whites. I feel at home. I would probably dislike Poland a good bit. A little bit too Catholic-y for my taste. The culture being different would fuck with me. But I guess, you know, maybe all white people should have to go live for a fucking year in Africa. And, you know, I'm not saying fucking, you know... torture them with the absence of amenities. Have like a white person farm where they all have fucking rooms and working fucking toilets and shit. But when you go out and go shopping or do whatever, farm. Yeah, a white person farm. There you go.
Didn't they do that on American Dad?
But our white person hotel, if you will. But when you go outside and interact with the world, and everyone's not white. You're not the majority anymore. Maybe that would open some fucking eyes. Maybe it would. But I'm getting a little far afield from this shit. But yeah, I mean, I can see it. But I've lived in multiple countries that I trace my ancestry back to, and I never went, Lederhosen. God damn, I just feel that German bone in me going, yeah, Lederhosen.
I like whiskey an awful lot.
Yeah, but that's, like, so much shit's been Americanized, you know? You don't have to go anywhere. You can go to the fucking gas station and get whiskey.
I like Mexican food is my favorite.
Right? Mexican food's fucking... Well, it's American version Mexican food, but... That's one of the things, like, this is an ideal that has died, but I like the ideal. I like America being a fucking melting pot. I want to be a fat fucking German, fucking French, British, Polish white dude who could wear a fucking... you know, Japanese fucking outfit and eat a goddamn taco. That's fucking what America should be right there, god damn it.
Yeah, I like it.
That's how I want to do my multiculturalism.
I think that's our biggest
Somebody raise me.
I'm dead too.
How is that not our biggest strength?
It should be, but... I mean, you got people on both sides that are trying to fight against it now, and it infuriates me to no end. Like, cultural appropriation... can be a good thing. I want more people to share my culture. I'm sure I said this before on the podcast, but I'll say it again. If any motherfuckers out here want to go fucking wear lederhosen or eat a fucking Polish sausage, by all goddamn means, go do it. Appropriate the shit out of my culture. The good parts, anyways, you know. The bad parts, fuck it. We'll get rid of all the bad parts of all the cultures and make a super culture of awesome. Where we can fucking drink Guinness and eat tacos and...
Assuming we don't just kill the Earth off, we're all going to be humans.
Oh, well, that's an awfully generous assumption.
Like the Futurama episodes. My Earthicans.
And that's the thing, like, I don't understand about people who are, like, white supremacists. I don't fucking get them at all, because, like, you're worried about demographic change. Okay, well, one, it's not going to happen overnight. If you're worried about what's going to happen in 2100 America when you're fucking long dead... like, you're just focusing on all the wrong shit. What's the matter? What's the matter? I don't care if everyone in America is brown in 2100. I'm not going to be here. And hearkening back to some fantasy culture that you pretend to belong to, I wouldn't have gotten along with anybody in 1950s America.
Right.
Well, maybe Bernie Sanders, but I digress.
I would have liked the clothes.
You still wear some of that shit.
Yeah, I do.
But, like, if I go back to, I don't know, any of my ancestors 4 or 5 generations ago, much less fucking get along with them, I wouldn't have been able to fucking understand them. Like, what's the fucking point of caring about what fucking German papa would have fucking said? Who cares? He would have been talking about how things were better when the Kaiser was still in charge. Some bullshit like that. Fuck him.
You never know.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I had an awesome great-great-grandpapa.
Papa may have said, you know.
Maybe. I'm sure there were cool people.
Bitches. You don't know.
There might have been cool people down the line at some point in all of our genealogies. Point is, you don't know. And you weren't part of the same culture. You didn't believe in the same things, most likely. You didn't speak the same language, for certain. I mean, telling people to speak good English... kind of funny to me because we had a fucking vowel shift in English most people don't fucking know about. You don't speak good English. Past the 1400s, everyone would be like, what the fuck are you even saying? So, I don't understand it. Appropriate everyone's fucking culture. Make shit homogenous. Take the good parts, take the bad. I don't believe in cultural relativism. I think some cultures are just bad. Especially ones that are exclusionary towards people. Kind of defeats the whole purpose. But, yeah. Be open-minded, but not so open-minded that your fucking brain falls out. How about that?
One love, man.
There you go. Bob Marley some of this shit.
This Duke pistol is just my favorite.
Oh no, I'm dead again.
This fucking whole area, I don't even know what's happening.
Oh, that's... Yay! Thanks for those brogs. That helped me stay alive. But, I think the real important question is, Greg, you've got a lot of strong words for Blizzard. But the real question is, what are you going to do about it?
Well, I can't just buy Diablo 4 now, which is the fucking worst.
So say they, like, we've got BlizzCon in 2 or 3 weeks.
4 in
Well, BlizzCon's going to be... First of all, I think this is just the juiciest thing ever.
Oh,
Second
man.
of all, I can't wait to see what happens at BlizzCon. Because they're either going to fully embrace it, or they're going to get just slammed. And it's so easy to get slammed. Like,
I can't wait either.
Are going to go in there, and even maybe they have security. Maybe they don't let people go in with, like, Winnie the Pooh and Chinese shirt, right?
Weren't they taking people's phones, or doing something with their phones earlier, like making them sign into something, or was that another conference that did that?
I think that was something. Yeah, I think that's some other conference. It may have been Blizzard.
Oh, Jesus, he dropped 3 legendaries.
Jeez.
People are gonna 3 legendaries.
Now, 2 of them are like.
One guy dropped 3 legendaries.
It was a boss.
Are they skins or something?
Yeah, 2 or something.
Oh, okay. It's nothing's worse than seeing a legendary drop and it's a skin, especially if it's one you already have.
And then it wasn't a thing.
But I mean, okay. So say BlizzCon comes out. God,
Someone's gonna have that shit underneath a coat or some shit, right?
I hope there are just giant chants of Hong Kong.
Right? That would be fucking fantastic, because they can't take that away from you unless they're gonna ball gag everybody.
I mean, like, they have to, the organizers have to be panicking. Like, they can't change it, because if this was like a year out, I'd say, okay, we're not doing a live BlizzCon, we're just going to do like a video conference.
Yeah, like Nintendo.
Yeah, but they can't do that. They can't do that. They've already sold the fucking tickets.
I know, that's why it's fucking fantastic.
So I can't wait to see, like, they're going to do fucking, like, PR shit and have, you have to sign this waiver to come in, and if you break the law calling the dear leader a fucking cunt, fucking Winnie the Pooh bear, then, you know, we're going to be mad at you. You're going to have to leave the conference you paid for.
I know. It will be fantastic.
Like, there's no... The only good way out of this for Blizzard is to just fucking take it on the chin. It's all you can do. Sometimes, when you just fuck up so bad, and God, this is going to be a stinger for something that happens to me later on, I can already tell. But sometimes when you fuck up so bad, you can't make excuses. You can, if you're really clever and charismatic, you might be able to goof off of it. But sometimes you just got to fucking take it on the chin, and I think this is just...
They're not clever or charismatic.
No, they are not.
At least they have not been yet.
Like, there's a story that there's a YouTuber called The Amazing Atheist, and he's kind of annoying, despite, you know, the atheism thing. He annoys me, I don't watch him anymore. But, there was one story that came out. People tried to fuck with him, because he's into some fucking shit. And apparently there was a photo leaked of him shoving a banana up his ass. I'm not joking. Yes. And this came out, and, like... This is internet fame suicide.
Who's giggling?
Ari.
That was me.
Have you heard about this guy, Ari?
Have you seen this?
No, I did not see this coming. So
okay.
That's why I'm like,
yeah, you didn't expect the banana.
Okay. But
Your
what he did,
made me think that you watched this.
He did a video. No. He did a video response, and he said, "You all knew I was a freak. So what do you expect?
Are you really surprised I would stick a banana up my ass?"
And that was it. That was it. Like, you would get memes of fucking him and bananas for a while, but motherfucker fucking flowed off him like water. Just, he didn't take any of it. I was in awe. I was like, damn, that's how you just gotta handle this shit. Yeah, fuck it. Shit happens.
No shit.
Sometimes shit on banana.
And there you go. So, throw some ice cream in there and we have a fucking,
Don't threaten me with a good time.
So, you know, Blizzard's not that congenial though. But we'll see.
You know what makes this even the thing that makes this even worse, which I had to explain to somebody, I forget, is that Blizzard portrays themselves as the white knight of gaming.
Oh yeah, they are the woke motherfuckers. Look
what they've done. Yeah, look at what they've done with Overwatch. We are woke.
This character,
they got fucking core values on that statue.
This character's gay. This character's a lesbian. This character has fucking autism. This character is trans. This character has Asperger's. So just going down the checklist.
Would any of this be as bad if it wasn't this company?
But
here's the company of all companies.
No, you know the funny thing? Tracer, remember when they got all that PR for making her a lesbian in that fucking comic and then never, well, I think she references it in a blurb in the game. None of that shit made it to the Chinese version.
Of course not.
They excised that shit.
You should not be surprised.
You should not be surprised. They love their fucking ideals so much, they will choose a fucking homophobic government over those ideals. It's just the way it is. And this should also be a lesson for the right wing in America, because a lot of corporations are evil in a lot of ways, but they're not always stupid, and they can check stats and monitor trends. And if you look at corporations like Nike and Activision Blizzard and EA, when they do all this fucking woke shit, one, they know that idiots will pay for it, and two, they know that the right wing is not winning on this fucking culture war front. They are not fucking winning. And I mean, I'm sorry if you don't like that, but I hate the pandering myself, and I agree with a lot of the core messages, but if corporations have looked at the fucking demographics and gone, no, these fucking white Christian homophobes, they are not the fucking future market, that's not good for you. It's just not. Not saying that their view of the world makes it true, but I think it is kind of telling. But also, to the other fucking side, Blizzard doesn't care. Blizzard does not care about your fucking sexuality. They
why do level 50 legendaries just pop out of my thing?
Lost loot thing? Fucking sweet. Oh, so you leveled up to 52, Jared?
No, like 42.
52. You can't get past 50.
No, 50 also. 50 also, yeah.
50 as well.
Okay. I'm like level 42. My lost loot, and there's like level 50 weapons.
Yeah, for some, you're welcome, because I think I'm level 50, and that makes, like, when I would play with people, for some reason I get higher level loot from my lost.
Oh, we were clean.
Is that weapon that was named after that guy, that kid?
Oh, okay. Now, hopefully it's good. But yeah, just, don't yoke yourselves to these corporations. They don't care. They don't really care.
Well,
they're not
some people
woke.
really do yoke themselves to these.
Yeah, they do, because they're stupid.
I don't know why they do. Like, how many examples do you need?
I don't know. Just, I think it's bad. I think it's a bad idea to do it. They don't care about you. They care about your money. And you know what? If the right-wing Taliban in America took over and, like, just the cultural attitudes of 100 million Americans shifted to fuck the gays and fuck the browns, you're goddamn right the next fucking Overwatch game would just be the whitest, straightest fucking game you've ever seen. That's just the way this works. And I'm fine with fucking awareness and promoting the normalization of marginalized groups.
Yeah, don't give a fuck.
But these are not the people you want to be carrying your banner, because they will piss on it in a second if they think it'll make them $1. They will. So, yeah, okay. I think,
and you can't use the whole Activision bought them thing for this whole Overwatch thing either.
No, I don't think Activision, like,
But that's the other part of it I wanted to point out was, first of all, the juiciness of them being such white knights, right? Second of all, Blizzard hasn't been Blizzard since 2012. That's just how it is.
Yeah, that when Diablo 3 came out?
That's when Activision bought.
No, okay.
Or I might be off by a year, give or take. Forgive me if I don't have the exact fucking year, but the point stands.
Like Joe Biden said, "Forgive me, Father, I have sinned." Sorry.
Oh man, I'm like
Brain
a
knows
few
what I've
points
done.
away from being able to, like a few dollars away from being able to buy a backpack upgrade.
So, Greg, worst case scenario, BlizzCon. Let's just dispense with the drama and say that Blizzard actually deflects it semi-competently, and they learned from last time, and they just announced Diablo 4. They show gameplay. It looks fucking great. What do you do?
Actually, if you ask me, that is exactly what they should do.
I agree.
Giant game to try to take away everyone's opinion.
Yep.
What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Blizzard.
Okay.
Like, show me that you're not being fucking told what to do and say by China. Show me.
I mean, I don't even know how they do that. I guess saying, well, they pretty much just have to come out with a statement and say, "Fuck you, China."
Yeah, pretty much. You don't get to. You don't get to dictate our.
Yeah, and they got banned in China. Good on them. Good on them.
The NBA is hand in hand with this whole ordeal. But they did the right thing, and it took them 48 hours. Okay, big caveat. It took them 48 hours. I will give them that. Sometimes it takes big corporations to get together and fucking decide things, right? And the NBA is a big corporation. But they came out and said, we're not going to censor what our players and coaches say, right?
Yeah.
And now the NBA is banned in China.
Okay.
That's how Blizzard can win me back, right there.
Get banned in China.
Get banned in China.
I'm actually surprised.
You guys follow the NBA stuff too, right? You saw what happened?
I heard about something happened, but I didn't have the story.
I mean, China doesn't give a fuck. They're pushing, and see, they're scared. They are scared that they're pushing too hard. Like, people say that this shit doesn't mean anything. It does. China's scared. They're scared that they're making the pot with the frog a little too hot. They didn't mean to get all of it. They meant to do it a little slower.
Yeah, I just hate that we have to like go through corporate mediaries to push back on, encroaching government.
Money speaks, though.
I know, it's just it should be given a lot less of a voice.
It's all done in Sanctuary?
I'm done. But I will say one more thing. I will say a lot more than just one thing, obviously.
Well, yeah, you never stop.
Okay, well, what podcast do we have if I don't? Nothing? Okay, good. One of the great things about physical games is that you can buy them used. And I do feel like a bit of a sellout, because if they do
but somebody else gave Blizzard that money, and Blizzard already has that money, and I'm not directly supporting them.
If they come out with Diablo 4, and it looks awesome, and it's coming out on PlayStation 5, and they've got fucking just gameplay trailers and video, and this will never happen, but whatever. Say they show off some awesome shit. They do a Fallout 4 fucking thing with this and say, fucking spring 2020 or whatever fuck, or PlayStation 4 or whatever the fuck. God, that'd be poor, horrible timing. But whatever, it comes out somewhat soon, it looks good, I fucking want it, Diablo, yay. I'll buy that motherfucker used. And I won't shed a tear. I'll feel like a little bit of a sellout, but god damn it, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to have my cake and eat it too. Blizzard's made shit decisions, and I don't have to give them my money, but doesn't mean I should not enjoy a game.
It's telling us to go to Electric City, but I don't know how to get there. Like, I don't know. It's not showing
just
on
press,
the map.
just press triangle.
That's the wrong quest, isn't it? That's Kilovolt.
Oh yeah. Fuck, we should kill Kilovolt anyways. Fuck him.
I'm super weak.
Oh, Kilovolt's gonna be like levels 20.
What the hell is
No, it's a multiplayer game. He should scale to all of us, shouldn't he?
I'm not sure.
I think he will. But whatever, we don't need to do that. We should push on with the story.
Oh, okay.
That's my opinion. I will.
It changed it off of the...
I will totally buy Diablo 4, and I will buy it used. I will go right into my GameStop, and awesome. So,
here's the big question. Someone wants us to write for Blizzard Game Day 1.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm not giving Blizzard money. I'm getting myself money off of Blizzard. Will I work for Blizzard?
Buy that game.
Fuck them.
You're going to buy that game Day 1 to do it, aren't you?
I don't have to buy games Day 1.
To write about them Day
To write for them?
Nah, I mean, like, they'll have a used copy of it within 2 or 3 days.
Oh, wow.
No, I mean, you're talking like someone puts a gun to my head and says, you have to go and buy this Day 1, and then you can write a guide for it, and we'll pay you whatever money. No, I wouldn't do it. I'd be like, nope, you can either compromise and let me get it used, and I can tell you, don't want to give up anything that might be under an NDA, but I might be writing a guide for a game here in a bit, and I am supposedly going to get a free key for it. We'll see. But the only way to get my hands on it was to do something I don't want to do and vocally protest against on this podcast. So I was like, nope, I'm not going to take that key. You'll have to get another one from a service that I will actually use. So I'm fully ready to stand by that shit and leverage what little fucking power I have to not fucking do business with a shitty company.
That is true, he did do that.
So.
Oh, well, good. I'm so proud of you.
I am, like, the only motherfucker on this planet who's idealistic enough to fucking inconvenience myself and cost myself money for things. So.
Now, if he didn't have somebody supporting him, he might not have had that.
Well, yeah, the economic pull might be different.
Yeah.
If Rebecca didn't account for fucking the majority of our household income, I might go, well, I can't eat pride, so I better focus on getting some food. But,
I do like eating.
Yeah, I mean, and we're not fucking rich. I mean, we're poor enough that my fucking guide author money actually makes a difference, and that's saying something.
Yeah, noticed that recently. Oh,
yeah,
right now we don't really have very much food in our fridge.
Yeah, we're surviving.
If you finish that one game,
yeah,
that's
I
like
fucking know.
90%
God
done.
damn.
I know. I keep telling him. Finish.
That's money just sitting there. And
I
it's
know.
Like all written.
I know.
Rebecca, I wrote the first boss for him too.
Really?
I want it done. I did.
Lord, get it done already. Okay.
Oh my god! Fuck
off. You're not allowed
off.
to play anything but that this fucking week. You need to get that shit done.
How very dare you? You aren't the boss of me.
I'm fucking taking the Switch in my room.
Wait.
away from you.
Who owns a
Let her
Switch?
focus on that black
Who owns a
eagle.
Switch? You ain't
I don't
taking
give a
nothing
shit.
nowhere.
I don't give a shit if you own it. I'll take the fucking electricity away from it.
Okay, fine. Well, then nothing's getting done because this whole fucking half the house is on one breaker.
I like how this all went.
I know you do. Why did you give him that, Rebecca?
Greg, you even went and did part of the stuff he was supposed to do, and he still hasn't done it.
Yes,
He likes
I
writing
did.
up boss. Don't let Greg fucking tear jerk you on this. He
He
fucking.
wants the money for it.
It doesn't
I know
matter
he
if
wants
I
the money.
like it.
He is
I
an
get
old. He is an old fucking man sitting at his boring ass tech job that desperately wants shit to fucking write instead of doing any productive work. That's why he wrote that up.
Yeah, but I know he wants the money because there's probably some Nintendo thing that he wants.
That's true
I know
too. He
that
does
we
like
need
his.
money.
He does like his Nintendo
I
shit.
already bought the Nintendo thing. I need to pay it off.
Yeah, so
He's like, okay, Nathan, my fucking loan shark is calling. He says, hurry the fuck up with Toho.
I'm about to lose my knee. And he's like,
only
this
slightly.
motherfucker here, he's like, are you gonna go grocery shopping? And I'm like, we don't have money for me to go grocery
We don't
shopping.
have money.
That's
I'm gonna.
it.
That's
what
it.
am I gonna eat?
I'm checking the bank account right now.
I moved money over, and my student loan might be coming out very shortly. It is
Yeah.
$169.
Backpedal. We'll see. Let's see how much money we got.
It's $169 for my fucking student loan. And
Oh
some
yeah,
change.
I love it
107.
when my hunter yells, "Run, you weaklings!" I love it.
$172. That's not that good.
Yeah. I made it so that they're like I bought less gas than I otherwise would have, so that there would at least be a $2 buffer.
Why is there like a penny on the amount in the savings?
Because we get money. We get.
Holy shit! We made a
It
penny
generates
off of our
money.
savings account.
I've moved a
Gave
few
you
other
a
pennies
penny.
over.
Never
I like
fuck.
it to be at zero.
Never fucking mind. Capitalism works. I am all for this. Bail out the banks again. We gotta keep these fuckers afloat. They're paying me.
Here's the shitty thing. It used to make 1% a quarter. Now it does not make that.
Jesus. One whole percent a quarter? So we were making like dollars every 3 months?
We had $500 in there. We've always had $500 in there.
To be fair, I got paid well enough from fucking Fell Seal. It covered a bit.
Well, yeah.
That was a nice windfall. That was good.
It's had to go over into this month, though, and I've got to put that money back
Yeah.
that I took from the Black Friday.
Yep, I've got toys to buy.
So you're either going to have Black Friday fund, or you're going to have...
When you keep in mind about how fucking poor we are, that's because I squirreled away several $100 for Black Friday. Yeah. So...
Which we've already borrowed $300 against.
I know! You need to cut it out! I got toys to buy! Alright. Let's, anyone else have any politics or bullshit or Blizzard or whatever fish shaking?
Everyone here is pretty much fuck Blizzard. Is that where we're at?
Fuck Blizzard of all your shit used.
They should be lucky we're buying a use.
Doesn't help them any.
Yeah.
I would... You know what? No, that's stupid. That's actually not a good idea. Anyways, let's move on. We've got some gaming milestones this week. And I'll just read them out. An RPG site... I was able to get a lot of them from that last time, but they were fucking slow as shit this time, so I actually had to scroll through Wikipedia and look up when things came out to do this, so you all appreciate the hard work I put into this one. I could have been...
Which you should have been using on the guide.
I could have been writing Tohu or something.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Hey, someday somebody's gonna watch this, and we're gonna make money somehow, and you'll be like, man, you're good for looking at that Wikipedia shit. I don't know how this works, but this might happen. The Mortal Kombat arcade cabinet came out October 8th, 1992. So I think that's fair to call that the birth of the Mortal Kombat franchise. It wouldn't come to console until a little bit later, which is where I think everyone really played it. Dark Age of Camelot came out October 10th, 2001. I remember there was a fairly sizable exodus from Diablo 2 to Dark Age of Camelot.
And I got the PC box of it within arm's reach right now.
The crazy thing is, that game is still operating today.
Really?
It is. I checked it out. It apparently is. So, that surprised me there. There's a little bit of gaming lore. I never played it myself, but it was hovering around the periphery for a while there. Can't imagine playing it in 2019, but besides the point. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney launched on Game Boy Advance in Japan today. This is, not today, October 12th, 2001. So I guess that's the birth of the Phoenix Wright series. I figured Greg would get a kick out of that.
Yeah, you did say that when you mentioned it.
Tales of the Abyss had its North American launch October 10th, 2006. Another milestone this week. That shit's 13 fucking years old this week. Crazy. Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions also had its North American launch, which I misspelled because I'm great at my job, on October 9th, 2007. So it's 12 years since we got an enhanced version of Final Fantasy Tactics and haven't gotten anything since. What the fuck? Like, why do we not have a actual remaster on the PlayStation 4 by now? Or even the Vita? Anything with trophies. Come on, guys. Make it fucking happen.
I mean, I can't disagree with that.
I would totally play that fucking game again if it had trophies.
Didn't you play it on the PSP?
I did. That's the version I played, the War of the Lions one. And it was pretty good. And
yeah.
Okay, I'll tell a little story. It has like a frame skip problem, right? But its animation quality isn't that great, and it's turn-based, so I honestly just thought it was like pausing for dramatic effect during attacks. I honestly thought that. Like, I didn't even realize that was a bug until Jared told me. So
that's pretty good.
I actually don't mind that version because that's the way I played it. So seemed fine to me at the time. It's like when I'll go on YouTube and try to listen to some really fucking old game music, and I'll listen to it and I'll be like, it didn't sound like that on my computer. Or Becca's like, it's because your computer didn't have fucking Sound Blaster, you idiot. It's just the way it was. It sounded different to me, and now different is right. The Orange Box came out October 10th, 2007, which might just be the best fucking game collection ever released. For that for that price, you got Half-Life 2.
Price and that day and age.
Half-Life 2 Episode 1. It also came with new games, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Portal, and Team Fortress 2. Portal alone was fucking worth it. But you're talking about all those fucking Half-Life games? Yeah, there you go. So
every single game was fucking worth it.
Right? They could have sold.
What a shame that Valve never finished that series. I don't understand it.
Half-Life?
I don't understand. But it's the same. It's my same Konami bitch that you've all heard a million times before.
About Castlevania?
Like, yeah. Like, if it's bringing in money and it's in the black, fucking keep it. Hire more people if you have to.
Yeah.
If you're net gaining it, why would you stop it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing, honestly, the best reason is that some of the creative minds behind it that are now just business suits over at their fucking DRM company are just like, not worth my fucking time. Why go through the effort of fucking game development? You know,
because you get more money out of this other thing. I get it.
I know.
I understand.
And I know that
there's some people there that would be like, "Yeah, I'll keep doing it."
There are fans that would do it, and probably do a pretty good job, depending on which ones you hired. Honestly, but I mean, yeah, it's just, I guess they're like, this is easier or more lucrative, and it's not worth the return on investment. I've heard some people say that they're not doing it because they're worried about, like, maybe it won't be as good and they'll lose the Valve magic. And I'm like, okay, so then they gotta go cry themselves to sleep on a fucking river of Steam dollars. Who cares?
This gun, it's the red text. It says, "Look around you, Chief. You've got a right to protect yourself."
Oh, God. What the fuck is that line from?
Oh, no. Bountiful Destructo Spinner. I've been hired for destruction.
Why am I fighting a...
Deluxe Baby Maker. Safety off.
I didn't know my sister was in this game.
Oh! Well, I gotta try this. I gotta try this weapon now.
Yeah, I still, like, I will never understand why maternity is considered a fucking career.
It is definitely a full-time job.
It's a job, but it's a self-inflicted one.
I'm just saying.
Didn't Patrick what?
Ain't nobody gonna pay you for that.
Yes, he did get a vasectomy, I'm pretty sure.
But why the fuck was he talking about having another kid?
Because he can reverse them, unfortunately. I think after 3 kids, castration. We're done. For both sides. No more. Too many fucking people on this planet already. But yeah, who here bought the orange box at some point in time?
Don't we have
I did.
We have it on the Xbox. You did or didn't, Ari?
I did.
Okay. So is Jared the only one who didn't?
It's in arm's reach.
I have not.
Okay.
I think it's in the...
If you were a PC gamer, that was a no-brainer.
I bought it on the Xbox 360.
Fair enough.
And man, I bought it just for fucking Portal, and it did not disappoint. I didn't buy it at the time it came out. I bought it used for like $15, so extra fucking value.
Better value?
Oh yeah. And I'll admit, I played Half-Life 2 a bit, and I was like, this is just such an antiquated ass shooter. Like it was past the point of Halo and fucking Gears of War, and that circle strafing bullshit was just, I'm done with it. Like, you've got to give me something more. I still disdain almost every shooter that doesn't have fucking cover anymore. Because I'm like, it's just such a bogus mechanic. It's just boring now. After Gears of War. But I think Doom was the only one who was able to thread that needle.
Oh my god. You're gonna start having to hit him, Rebecca, or something.
She's not gonna get up. I'm safe.
But he's all the way over there.
See? Told you. I can be as obnoxious as I want as long as I'm out of arm's reach. 16
Yeah, that doesn't mean I won't hit him later.
That is true.
Because I do sometimes remember. And he's like, what was that for?
You know.
That was for being a jackass. No, I don't. I forget. I will forget all about this.
You will forget.
Everything I have is short-term memory. I don't commit any of that shit to long-term. It's not worth my time. Oh, you're not a bad guy. I shot you anyways.
This technical I just found has square tires, apparently. Square tire technical.
Oh, okay. That's weird. Dishonored came out October 9th, 2012.
Oh, how many people have played Dishonored 2 here?
I played it, but never got past the second level. We're bad people.
I just want to illustrate that it is an underrated game, and that is such a crime. It's so good.
It's a good game.
I'm gonna start spoiling things. You guys ready for this?
Go for it. I don't care.
No story spoilers, but they have a level where you have like this device that can make you go back in time, and you have to get through the whole level, like going through this mansion in like present time and like the past. And it is so good. It's so good. They have another level that's like this mad inventor dude. His mansion is all controlled by levers and switches, and every time you hit the lever, like the mansion reconfigures itself. It's so good. This game is so good.
I don't know why that game didn't do better. Like, from what I played, it was pretty good. I don't know why it
didn't do better.
I think the enemy AI is a little oversensitive. Like, I just played the first one, and I was ready for the enemy AI to be like that, but man, the enemy AI in the second game was way more fucking touchy. Like, it was a lot harder to get away with killing shit and remaining undetected. Or, well, knocking people out, I should say.
Well, they at least made it a default option.
Yeah.
When you're in the first one, when you're sneaking behind somebody, you have the...
Instead of having to hold the button, yeah.
Yeah, and in this one, they at least made that a fucking, like, default option. You had 2 buttons, right? One for kill, one for knockout.
Yeah, instead of hold... I think it was like a hold square to knock them out, but if you tap or press square, it would kill them. So, don't let go of that fucking square.
Way better.
That was something I always worried would happen, but I don't think it ever really did. Like, I never accidentally killed somebody.
I'm pretty sure I probably have. I don't know.
And
it's been a while.
Going through the first Dishonored without killing anybody, and then having to do the run again where you can kill people, it's really hard to unlearn that. Like, you're so good at avoiding detection and not getting in fights with things that... Like, you still don't want to... I found myself sneaking around and stealth killing people the way I would, sneak around and knock them out. I was like, I don't need to do any of this. Like, they're not really even a threat. So, it was just such a much less fulfilling way to play the game. And I don't even like stealth. I hate stealth games. But that was a really fucking good game. And the stealth made sense, so... Or I should say I hate stealth games where if you get caught, you insta-die. Yeah, and they just kind of force you into those corridors.
You don't insta die, but if you're going after like the ghost trophy or something, you may as well.
Yeah, or like you can do shit like Shadow of Mordor got it right too, where it's like you're not gonna die, you're just gonna get attacked by 18 fucking orcs, and you're probably gonna die. But it's not an insta kill. You could potentially get away or outfight them.
I've fought 500 orcs in there.
Yeah, I mean it happens, but then sometimes you just fuck up, you get seen, and that fucking orc with the fucking multi-shot fucking arrow thing just one-shots you, and that's it. Oh, well, fuck it. Guess I'll be more careful. And then you just go and climb a fucking rope over him and jump on his head and stab him in the fucking eye, and there you go. Teach you to fucking kill me. God, that was a good game, too. But, Dishonored. Rebecca was actually... She had far more of a boner for this game than I did. Like, it looked neat, but Rebecca was like... She saw it on sale on Black Friday, and she's like, we gotta buy it.
Yeah, I bought it for $25.
Yay, Rebecca.
I was like, okay. I mean, I'm never one to complain
I played
when...
for a while, but...
Never beat it.
Never beat it. She didn't even get that far. Don't let her lie to you.
There's a guide out there.
Oh, did you write a cute little guide for it?
A cute little guide?
I can't remember if you... Oh, you wrote a guide for both of them, didn't you?
No, I didn't do the first one.
Oh, the second one. Okay. It seems like a game that would be fun to write a guide for, honestly. But yeah, she bought it. She didn't really play it that much. Shame.
I played it for a while, I just didn't get very far.
I remember
That was her.
when I was rating the guy for the first game, I think I played like the first level like 10 times in a row.
To see how things would go differently, or?
Pretty much.
Okay. But the worst thing is, not only did she not fucking beat the game ever, she wouldn't let me play it until she had beaten it.
Yeah, but then I was like, you know.
And I didn't play it. She got it on the Xbox 360. This was the year it came out, in fact. And I didn't play it until they came out with the Superior Edition for the PlayStation 4. And I played that and platinumed it, and I was like, man, this is a good game. I should have played it years ago. Rebecca.
You probably could have just played it.
I could have. I was playing other shit.
I didn't want you to play it in front of me and spoil the game for me.
Yeah, you might have actually seen more than 2 levels of it.
Got into the city.
Yeah, that's the second level. In fact, I'm not even sure you made it to the second level.
I jumped into the window of that building.
Oh boy. Okay. And then because I liked the game so much, I bought it on the PlayStation 3 and platinumed it there too. Because that's what you do. XCOM Enemy Unknown came out October 9th, 2012. Hey, those came out the same day. That was a really good fucking game. I
played the shit out of that game.
I actually beat that one.
When you're like straight up head to head with an alien, 99% chance to hit.
Yeah.
Right? You know where I'm going.
I think we were talking about this on Discord the other day, but that game has the weirdest 2-hit chance. Like, if your 2-hit chance is 50%, you're probably going to hit it about half the time. If your hit chance is 90%, you're fucked.
You're gonna miss.
Like, it is going to screw... If their hit chance is 10%, you're fucked. Like, they will bend the edges of those fucking probability rates. But around 50%, yeah, good, fair enough. I found that game really fucking satisfying and fun. Not my usual deal. I only had to restart once. Because once I figured out, you know, how things worked and what I could fast track as far as researching went, I went and did that and got the fucking heavy armor. I can't remember what that shit's called anymore. Was it just called power armor?
Don't know.
I got plasma weapons, and then I found out, like, late in the game, you unlock the ability to recruit psionic squad members. And so I had to create a whole new team and save load until they were psionists. And then I leveled them up, and I had a squad full of fucking just badass min-max psionists that... Yeah, it was pretty fucking cool going through there. I wouldn't say it was easy, because it's still XCOM and anything can fuck you up. But they were able to get away with some shit. So, really fun game. I had a good time with that. Just a shame that apparently the second game has such horrendous load times on console. I haven't tried it, but I've heard that it takes a long time to load. So, yeah, it's sitting right on my shelf. I've had it for a while. Alien Isolation came out October 7th, 2014. Another birthday this week. How's your playthrough of that going, Rebecca?
Shut up. I think it's still in the closet.
Oh, God.
There's never been a time that I can recall when Rebecca was like, I really, 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 really want this game. And then she played it to completion in, like, short, obsessive order. Well, no. Well, now see, every time that you've done something similar, we were both playing it.
I played the fuck out of Diablo 3.
You played the fuck out of Diablo 3. You went and bought that yourself, because I was still hating on Blizzard for all the negative press they got off of that game. Dragon Age Inquisition, you played that pretty fucking hardcore when it came out.
Yep, I beat it.
But we were both playing those at the same time, so...
Yeah, but I was looking forward to it a lot more, I think, than you were, actually.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
My position was, I still maintain a solid game.
No, it was good. I'm saying it was bad.
Very clear where their A team was.
I'll give it a 7.5 or even an 8 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. Like,
I think I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Nathan didn't like the second Dragon Age until he replayed it.
There are
obviously problems with the second one, obviously. But I enjoyed the second one, and I played through it twice.
Oh, yeah, there were problems, though.
I thought the story was good.
One of my first guides I ever got paid for was Dragon Age 2.
Oh, boy.
L.A. Noire was the first one, Dragon Age 2 was the second one.
What a combo. First game I got paid for. By paid for, do you mean like a contract, or do you mean you won FAQ of the month, or what's the criteria?
Website paid me money.
Okay. And the first one I got paid for was Fallout 3. Gamer Guides wanted me to port that version over to them. Trivia!
Yeah, in retrospect, it had so many, like, remember the Isabella bug?
Yes, Rebecca, tell us about your Isabella bug.
So bad.
Rebecca.
I'm trying to remember how it went.
You got an STD.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was funny about it, though. It pretty much just ruins your game.
How do I remember this and you don't?
I don't know.
Rebecca was playing a thief character that romanced Isabella because she's the hot biddy in that game.
Yeah.
And if you get your support rank, whatever the fuck it is, your loyalty.
I think I blocked it out because I was angry.
If you get your loyalty high enough with characters, they give you some passive bonus or another. And Isabella gives you like attack speed plus 5% or something.
Yeah.
Something similar to that. The problem is the game would like remove that every time it booted up, and the way it would do that wouldn't be by... I don't even know how the fucking mechanics would work, but it would impose an attack speed penalty on you when you like transition to areas or load it up or whatever the fuck. And then, it would recalculate and say, okay, you have this. But it wouldn't remove the fucking debuff they gave you to cancel it out for whatever reason.
In fact, it stacked them.
It stacked the debuffs so that you wouldn't notice it at first, but after a while, you'd just be like, you might go through a couple of screens and stack multiple versions of this debuff on your character before you got into a fight. Then your character unsheathes their weapons and they're going into motion.
I think I blocked it out. That's why I forgot. But
and then
really bad.
And then your character becomes unplayable because it's not like you're just moving slow. Like, you're not getting any attacks off. You're getting one attack off a fight.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, it was unplayable.
Rebecca had to stop playing the game.
Bug.
That's why I had to play it twice.
Yep. She was
I did actually finish it.
She was so proud when she...
Black and white too.
Yeah, I mean...
Whether you support the mages or the knights.
They're both kind of bad, aren't they?
They're both bad, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was their problem. Like, when you're doing Shades of Grey, you just can't make everyone an asshole. That's what Borderlands does. Everyone's just a fucking asshole in Borderlands. There's no characters you really like, because they're all dickheads. Dragon Age 2 was kind of like that, because nobody really had a point. They were all just kind of fucking assholes. Like, they're all doing bad things for their own personal gain. It's really hard to, like... I don't know why, but Mass Effect did a much better job of making you feel better for Psionists, essentially. I can't remember what they're actually called. Than Dragon Age 2 did with mages. Because, on one hand, they'd be like, oh, the Templars are oppressing us poor mages. Meanwhile, here's this mustache-twirling fucking necromancer. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, maybe you guys need to be oppressed a little bit. So... And the Templars were just like,
well, that's not us, but we don't have anything in place to stop that from being us.
Yeah, and the Templars, kind of vacillated between, well, mages can be bad, so we need to do it for their own protection, plus fuck mages.
Yeah, to fucking obvious Nazi regime.
Yeah. So, didn't lack any nuance. I still remember how excited, Rebecca, you were when you earned the... Fuck, what was the name of that Kunari guy's... When you earned his trust.
The bull.
Yeah, but I can't remember what he was called.
The head Kunari guy.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
We all know who we're talking about. That's what matters.
Yeah. Is that called the Vole? That's
the Vole?
guy.
No.
The bull.
He looks like a bull. They all look
Iron
like bulls.
Bull.
But that's the name of the guy in...
No, she's talking about Dragon Age 2.
Inquisition. Dragon Age
Okay.
2.
It's
really hard to earn that guy's fucking trust. And I did it.
It's not really hard. It's really hard to do it blindly like you did.
Yeah. You have to do all kinds of specific shit. And I did it accidentally. And I was like, what? And Nathan was like, I didn't do that. How the fuck do you do that? So then we looked it up, and yeah, it was pretty specific shit.
Yeah. And not things that always made sense, but you claimed that it made sense to you. I don't think it did.
It did after I read it. I don't know how I did it accidentally, but...
But, yeah, I mean, I don't, like... Is there a perception that Dragon Age or Inquisition is bad?
Who said that?
I don't know. It may be that it's on the fence because it was right before Blizzard just became known for crap, I guess.
No, you mean BioWare?
BioWare. Yeah, I said Blizzard, didn't I?
I think what a lot of it is it was a good but not great BioWare RPG, and we expect great out of them. And then it had a lot of dumb fucking derpy SJW shit in it. I mean, not a lot by today's standards, but at that time, everyone was just looking for everything.
It seemed way more minor than people made it out to be when we were
It was. Okay, so there's an ugly elf chick and one fucking ham-fisted character that just wants to beat you over the head with how trans they are. It's like, okay, whatever. It's a side character. You don't really need to even fucking deal with them anyways.
Yeah, you don't even have to have that conversation if you don't want to.
And, like, people complaining about Dorian, fuck off. His story was fine.
Yeah,
The story was fine. It was a bit boring.
Yeah, I mean...
was...
Papa doesn't approve of my life choices. Yeah, it's a very routine storyline, but it wasn't bad. Like, that's the thing I want to avoid, is when people are like, oh, there's something gay in a video game, and just trying to shove it down our throat. Just, some people are fucking gay. That can be represented in a game. It's fine. And it's actually, his story made sense. Daddy wanted him to continue the bloodline. His sexual proclivities made that less likely. I mean, maybe I'm a bit uncaring and just go, okay, why don't you just fucking grin and bear it and have a fucking kid? I'm sure that happened throughout history with all kinds of nobility.
Oh, certainly.
But I think that is mentioned there, but it became a larger point on why the fuck should he, try to be something he's not. That's an even better story, I think. Fuck you, Dad. I'm not having a fucking kid. I don't want one.
I don't
want to be with a woman.
daddy.
I don't want to touch them. They're oogie. I don't care about your fucking passing on the magic bloodline. How about you go fuck another kid into the world and try your luck with that one?
You probably should.
You're a male. You can do it.
Yeah, there's no expiration date on that. So.
Although, sperm does degrade.
Yeah, it does. You end up with more fucking...
higher levels.
You end up with more Andrew babies the older your sperm gets.
So.
Are they coming there? Are they coming over here on Tuesday?
Yeah.
We might be hanging out with friends on Tuesday.
Who's snorting giggling?
Me.
Yeah.
I will never get tired of ragging on my real life friends. We'll see. We'll try to play some board games while they're over here. Rebecca bought a Witcher board game we've been needing to try out, and I have a Bloodborne board game.
Oh, Sarah and I are gonna do a picnic.
A picnic?
For a little bit.
Oh, you're gonna make me fucking babysit him?
Just put a game on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like real babysitting. Give him something to fucking watch and be done with it.
Okay.
Yeah, just grin and bear it.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Get that needed.
Ha 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 ha! I'm so proud of you right now.
God damn it.
All right.
Even I can't hate on Greg for that.
Dragon Quest II for Android came out on a worldwide release on October 9th, 2014. Why do I bring this up? Because I bought Dragon Quest II over the past week and have been playing through it. And I was under the impression that Jared and Ari had bought it earlier too, but I'm now guessing that you guys didn't buy it until I bought it?
Wait, what game?
I bought it when I finished this one.
Okay. Dragon Quest II. And I'm playing through it, and as much as I like the greater variety and depth of this game, I still kind of like the first game better.
What?
It's weird, but I kind of like my character actually being able to do more things instead of just attack. And I know I've got 3 characters, but
having to rely on 3 characters.
Yeah, the extra characters are more like baggage rather than distinct.
You'll get more stuff than your first character could do.
Yeah, I mean, I have Sizzle, and yeah, it's cool, it's fine. 23?
Yeah, you've seen it then.
Yeah, so I mean, it's fine. They introduced bunny girls in this one.
Characters die and
then you're carrying around a coffin. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
That is good. They introduced bunny girls into the game, so it's interesting to see where that came in. I'm waiting to see the first appearance of the masked, muscle-bound guy that they have in all their games. I want to know where that character comes from.
Were they not in there selling weapons?
No. I mean, if that's supposed to be them,
it's supposed to be.
It doesn't look like them to the point where I'm not giving them credit for it. Oh shit.
Guys, did you have to get in the firefight? I was busy selling, so how rude.
Rude. But yeah, I've been playing through that. It's fine. The encounter rates are a bit high.
Oh, I got called rude for using somebody's name to address them.
Quit being a bitch, Rebecca.
Like going, hey Bob. Yeah. And then saying what I was gonna say. They were like, excuse me?
Was this like someone calling you or a coworker?
Yeah. There's someone calling me.
That's like the whole point of first names.
And they were like, what do you mean when you use my name? I was like, to get your attention so you know that I'm talking to you. And they're like,
geez.
I'm not a dog.
She didn't fucking whistle.
Yeah, I was just like, hey, Bob.
Well, you're the one who decided to get a job dealing with emotionally unstable fucking babies.
No matter where you go, you have to deal with emotionally unstable babies, though. I've worked in fucking retail.
That's true, yeah.
I've worked in several service industries.
I worked at a Subway on Fort Campbell, and some soldiers would get really pissed if you didn't know their rank by looking at their insignia. And it's just like, dude, I don't care if you're on a
expects you to know that.
Yeah, dude, I don't care if you're on a military base. I'm making fucking $7 an hour. I don't care about your little fucking stripes. I don't. I'm making a sandwich, alright?
I'm not memorizing every single fucking clan's.
And FYI, just if there's any military person listening, if you're a civilian, we don't care whether you're a fucking colonel or a private. You're not a sir. You're just an asshole in a uniform. Doesn't matter what your rank is.
Buying a sandwich.
In fact,
you're an asshole if you care.
You are an asshole. It's like those people who are like, call me doctor. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was working on the military base in the AP's fucking shit. I referred to somebody as sir because that's what you do as a civilian.
He's like, I'm not a fucking sir. I'm not a sergeant.
I have not earned the rank of sergeant. That is insulting to the sergeants. And I was like,
see, that's the thing, though. Like, the colonels and the fucking master sergeants, they don't care. They don't give a fuck. There's no E7 coming into your fucking shop and going, you didn't fucking call me sir. It's the fucking it's the E4s and E5s that are like, oh, I'm still a Boy Scout and care about this shit. I haven't failed my paperwork fucking test to fucking promote 3 times, so it means something to me. It's like, you know how many of my friends are in the military and who didn't get advanced because there's just not enough fucking slots for E6? I mean, that's a lot of it is, well, we don't really need another E6 in this unit, and you're a fucking welder, so we're just arbitrarily not going to give you the rank because we don't need any more E6 welders on this particular fucking base. And when you reverse that and go, oh, you gotta call me sir because they needed another electrician on Fort Campbell. Fuck off. Who cares? Eat a dick. You want your fucking sandwich or not? If you do, shut the fuck up and tell me what you want on it. Dick.
Yeah, man. This sandwich art is so snipey.
We are fucking dealing with this military bullshit. But most of the troops didn't care. They didn't give a fuck.
Oh, do you love me?
What was your rank when you got out of the military, Greg?
I was a senior airman.
What does that translate to in enlisted
Equal.
ranks? Okay, there you go. So.
Most of them don't get above that.
I mean, if you stay in there for the 4 years, you're, you know, if you re-sign after 4 years, you're probably going to hit E5 at some point in that time.
Well, shit, they give you E3 if you sign up for 6.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
So all you have to do is on a paper to get these ranks. So shut the
well,
fuck
no,
up.
you test into some of them. You got to prove competence in your field and show tenure and not have demerits. But
a test right before I left.
But a lot of the time they promote or don't promote based on means other than just tenure or, you know, direct competence. Sometimes they do not need another fucking, like, these ranks aren't just out of nowhere. They've got specific duties. What the fuck is attacking me so much?
There's some fucking badass fanatic.
Oh.
Rocket launcher.
Like, you know, you only need so many sergeants for every fucking private. I'm sure there's no hard and fast rule, but if everyone's a sergeant, nobody has a fucking rank.
The only good thing about that AP's job, other than, you know, actually
come on,
a little
load
bit,
the map,
was my coworker is married to a disabled veteran, but she was also a constant flirt, and the guys knew who she was married to, and they were terrible to her because they thought it was shitty that they, like, she has a disabled husband and she's fucking trying to flirt with these dudes. So they would refuse to get in her line as a cashier. And any military person knows this, that you can't have more than 3 people in a fucking line in an AP's place, because that means you're not serving the population. But they would wait 10 people in a line to be served by me because I wasn't being fucking stupid like her. And it was just fucking hilarious to see her, like, sputtering and trying to get them to go in her line, and them going, no, that's okay. We'll have somebody who actually respects people fucking wait on us. So that was hilarious to me.
You're gonna hate me for this, Nathan. I'm doing it anyways.
What? You typing something?
He's sending you something, probably.
Oh, God. I mean, I don't want to offend military wives, but military wives are the worst fucking thing in the world. Oh, $40 though? Oh, those look fucking awesome though. I don't have that kind of money. Also, Rebecca, we need to get $42. Might as well just round up and make it 50.
For what? What did he send you? Greg, what the fuck? You don't want our money. We just talked about this.
They are Final Fantasy VII Remake statues. Trading arts, I assume that you can buy the one you want. I mean, I guess there aren't any losers if it's random. And those Final Fantasy VII figures. They've got a Sephiroth one, Rebecca.
Look pretty good.
They do look pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, it's
Well, obvious fuckingly, actually, I have $100 in PayPal right now. I don't have to wait for nothing.
Oh. Well, can you buy them with PayPal?
Yes, and I'm not buying them.
Oh, it's a set of 5. How big are these? They can't be that big if they're...
Wait, all 5 can't come in it.
Yep.
All 5 come in it?
Yep.
I might buy them.
What? Who was selling them?
Play Asia.
How did you not see this yourself? Why did Greg...
I don't know, because they haven't advertised it to me yet.
These things are,
Greg doesn't even like the Final Fantasy remake because he's hateful.
What?
No, she's right about that.
These things are about 3.5 inches tall.
Oh, Jesus.
That's not
Oh, you
It's
thought...
like half my hand.
That's tiny, Rebecca.
For that price, what were you expecting? I would
5 inches?
3.5. Oh,
No,
that's what you were expecting.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Fuck me for being an optimist. They are still kind of cool.
For $42. You'll have to show it to me after we're all done.
They've got a lot of detail for being that size.
You can put a lot, like, think of how small our D&D figures are. And how detailed
That is
some of
true.
those get.
Like, these are just way too big to be D&D figures, but still awesome. No, I might have to buy it. I'll show you when you're here.
Cost you money.
Buy myself a set and you can oogle mine.
As long as we have one in the house, I'm usually...
Alright. Buy that in the Final Fantasy 7 and 8 collection for the Switch.
Why, if you're gonna get stuff from PlayAsia, you might as well.
Might as well bundle up the shipping, right? Anywho, before Greg makes me waste all my fucking money...
It's Greg.
Final Fantasy 13 came out this week, October 9th, 2014. That's actually a game that grew on me over time. I didn't think very highly of it when I played it the first time. When I played it again recently, I thought it was actually decent. But right now I'm vibing on the fact that I only played the second half of the game contiguously. And that second half of the game actually gets pretty good once you're done with all the so-called story bullshit. We got Dragon Quest Heroes on October 13th, 2015. And Dragon Quest Builders on October 11th, 2016. These are the North American launches. So a lot of fucking Dragon Quest likes to come out in the month of October for whatever reason. And I'm totally lost. There we go. And that is it for our gaming milestones for this week. Next week is actually a lot busier.
Don't go under there. Get back to me.
Why are you trying to murder me?
I
will be right back.
All
right. Oh man, I forgot to bring up that story too. Just as another example, like when talking about hypocrisy of America and China, and when it comes to fucking corporations and shit, right now there are actually laws on the book, things you have to sign to work as a state employee in Texas, that you will not support the BDS movement. You can lose your job as a state employee in Texas, in America, if you support a certain brand of political speech that your oligarchs don't like.
How is that not a violation of the First Amendment?
I don't know.
That's the government limiting speech.
So,
the First Amendment protects against.
You'd think so?
ACLU, where are you?
Now I'll wait for Greg to be back on. Well, a lot of this season. And we were talking about Enchanted Portals. Atari's lead console engineer quits after a dispute. A new report has revealed that the system architect for Atari's retro console, the Atari VCS, doesn't sound like VCR at all, has left the project after he claims the company hasn't paid him in 6 months This is not a project that is going to turn out well, guys. Atari architect Bob Wyatt, who was previously a founding member of the Xbox team, told the Register that he left the Atari project last week. As of Friday, October 4th, I officially resigned as the architect of the Atari YCS. According to Wyatt, his design consultancy, Tin Giant, had not been paid for invoices dating back over 6 months. As a small company, we have been lucky to survive this long, Wyatt says. The status of the VCS is also murky. Wyatt says his team only received a prototype motherboard last month, and that his team was in the process of debugging it before parting ways with Atari. Surface Link, another contracted company with Atari, has reportedly taken over the project from Tin Giant. In a statement to IGN, an Atari spokesperson says, the Atari VCS is still on track. The Atari VCS is proceeding according to its previously announced schedule. I don't believe you.
I am definitely back.
Hey, Greg, welcome back, definitely.
I came on and I said, I'm back, and then you said, I don't believe you.
No.
Oh, we didn't hear the I'm back part from you.
Screw you, Greg. Thinking you're funny.
Hilarious. I'm a gem.
And in other news, this is kind of big shit here. PlayStation 5 got a release window. Holiday 2020 is when we can expect the PlayStation 5 as of now. They also announced other things like the PlayStation 5 controller would have haptic feedback, which can apparently simulate textures on the controller. Don't know how any of that shit works. I'm not sure how much I want it in my games. This is something I'm going to be dubious of, and I will take a wait-and-see attitude.
You can always turn it off,
hopefully. The best news about the PlayStation 5 so far is that the console will still have physical games. They are coming in 100 gigabyte Blu-rays. We'll have 3D audio and 8K support. This prompted every fucking idiot fucking blogger and so-called game journalist to go, PlayStation 5 8K? What you need to know? Obviously you're not going to play fucking games in 8K. Obvious fuckingly it's media playback. It's not articles that needed to be made. So everyone who made that article, fuck you, you're a sham journalist. Clickbait bullshit.
The clicks.
Pisses me off.
Clicks, yo.
Dollar bill.
The PlayStation 5 will have backwards compatibility with PlayStation 4. We do not know what kind, whether it be physical, whether it be digital, whether it be both. I'm kind of leaning towards both, and I'm definitely hoping it'll be both.
Are we supposed to be killing things on this big thing?
We're supposed to be killing the cars it poops out, I think. And PlayStation VR will be compatible with the PlayStation 5. Which I'm actually rather happy about. I hope they evolve it. Hopefully the PlayStation 5 is actually strong enough to make good use of PlayStation VR. Any updates on PlayStation VR on your end, Greg?
I've got one and I have not touched it.
Okay.
Oh, so you don't know whether or not it makes you sick as fuck?
Yeah, I've been pretty lazy. Not touching it. Can't deny that.
Also, we have a bit of bad news. At least I think this is bad news. The more they talk about it, the more it seems obvious that their SSD is in fact going to be a proprietary drive. Let's see if I can find any actual information out about it. Game installation from disks is mandatory because of the difference in speed between the console solid-state drive and the disk drive. Installations will now be more customizable. You'll be able to just install multiplayer mode or just install, hopefully, a single-player mode. You can delete various portions of the game once you're done with it. So that all sounds wonderful. But let's not forget, this is a solid-state drive in 2019. And these games are coming in 100 gigabyte discs. I think they can probably manage a 1 terabyte solid state drive at decent expense, but I'm kind of doubting we're going to see 2 terabytes. And that is kind of bad. And the way they are talking about this solid state drive sounds an awful lot like it's going to be proprietary. And I'd be surprised if it was easy to fucking install like the PlayStation 4's hard drive is.
You're worried about another PlayStation Vita memory.
I am... Well, I mean, unlike the Vita, every fucking PlayStation 5 is going to have some onboard storage that you can probably use. But yeah, I'd be surprised if you could purchase... Well, one, I'm going to outright say this now. I don't know, but I'm like 99% certain you're not going to be able to just go buy another solid-state drive for your PlayStation 5. Since they're actually disabling the ability to play games without them being installed onto the SSD, I question external support. I don't know how any of this shit's going to work, but I think it's dubious you're going to be able to replace your SSD. I think it's dubious you're going to have external support. I think Sony might sell proprietary ones, maybe, that you could replace. But yeah, after the Vita, do you really want to put the words fucking proprietary memory together with Sony?
Yeah.
So
I would hope they learned their lesson because of that. But you never know.
But see, no, keep in mind, this is Sony being shitty when there were viable, cheap alternatives to the proprietary memory they had at the time. Like, there's no good reason an SD-HD card couldn't have fucking worked in the Vita. No good reason at all. Except they just went, no, we want to fucking nickel and dime you. From what I can tell, this is going to be a proprietary SSD that actually has some functionality you'll be paying for. Sony ain't giving you that for cheap. And they're not fucking letting other people make them. So I think that's all bad news. If Sony comes out with a 2 terabyte SSD, I will be shocked that they managed to fucking pull that off and get it affordable. But I'm kind of thinking we're going to see 1 terabyte in 2019, and that is not very fucking endearing. It's actually very bad news for hardcore gamers. And I know the attach rate on most consoles isn't that high. That would actually work for a lot of people. But, I mean, how many PlayStation games do you have, Greg? PlayStation 4, I should say.
Oh, you're serious?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Is it 3 digits?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the attach rate for most players is nearly 2 digits, or just at 2 digits. So obviously, if they're designing for that, not gonna work so well for us fucking freaks that like to actually own more than 10 games. Even if we can uninstall the parts we don't like. That's a band-aid.
How many Call of Duty games do you really need? Every time you get a new one, you can just delete the old one.
Yeah, but there's some people that's all they buy is fucking Call of Duty and Madden.
That's what I was making fun of.
I know, but how many do you need? I don't know. Ask them. Apparently they need all of them. Because they keep fucking buying the same ones.
Delete them when they're done with them.
That's true, but that's not us. We don't do that. I'd have every fucking PlayStation game I own installed still if I could. Except for the ones that deserve to be deleted. You know who you are. Wee. I picked up a loot box. So, I mean, some of the features sound good. Maybe Sony will surprise me. I'm more pessimistic about this SSD the more I hear about it. And I think I'm justified in being pessimistic about it. But if we get a 2 terabyte SSD, it'll be fine. It won't be good. It'll be okay. And also, God, keep in mind, if it's actually backwards compatible, there goes all your fucking disk space right there before you even start the goddamn gen. Never mind, I'm not fine with it. Sony needs to somehow manage to have fucking external storage. And I don't see how they're gonna either, because if they're making the SSD this fast, it's not gonna be able to do USB-C I mean, this is the kind of speed that you actually hook up directly to the motherboard. What's it, fucking M3.5 or whatever connection? That kind of setting.
That is impressive.
I mean, it's fast. That's the only port you're going to be able to use for it, though. Let's be honest. That Sony, I don't think, is going to make a way for idiot layman to interface with a motherboard directly. That's just asking for problems. Even if you are just plugging it essentially into a slot. But, I don't know. We'll see. I could be wrong. But yeah, anyone buying the PlayStation 5 on launch?
Yeah. It depends. How bad does Howard want some launch day guides?
Oh man, that's a good point. That's a good point. You think launch day guides wouldn't be in that high demand because, I mean, who the fuck?
My PS4.
Yeah, but who has a fucking console?
Depends what the launch games are.
That's true.
Horizon 2 comes out on launch.
Gimme.
I would buy a PlayStation 5 and a launch console for that. Or at least I'd try. Because the biggest thing that keeps me from buying a console day one is the limited amount of fucks I have to give about going and fighting for a limited fucking availability piece of tech. Like, I'm not brawling with anybody at Walmart during Best Buy to get a fucking PlayStation 5. I will...
Black Friday.
What did I say?
Best Buy.
There, whatever, yeah, them too. I won't even go into a Best Buy on Black Friday because the place is fucking nuts. Like, I want to fucking live to play my games. I don't need them that bad. I can't remember. We were thinking about going to Best Buy for one Black Friday, and there were, like, people camping out in tents.
I think it was in Pennsylvania.
I was like, okay, whatever. They might have some cool shit, so I'll wait a few hours. And then, like, people with tents were there, and I was like, okay, no, you fuckers want more. You can have it. Whatever the fuck it is.
You won.
You just, yeah. My life is more important than... And my life isn't that important, but still more important than that. So... the amount of effort I'm willing to do is hit the refresh button a few times on Amazon. And to be fair, that's worked out pretty well for us in the past. Right, Greg?
Yeah, you got me in my Fire Emblem thing.
There you go.
What
I'm just a great guy.
How the fuck do I get up there? I went into this fucking thing that terminates, and there's no thing or a button to even bring the elevator down.
Does it have like a big wind thing?
Wind?
I don't know where you're at.
Oh, you have to jump.
There you go. Come on.
I turned off the air.
Oh.
I thought it was making it so that the thing wouldn't come down. And then when that didn't work, I didn't even think to turn it back on and jump.
Well, okay. See, that's why you just aren't as much of a gamer as the rest of us. That's just a sad truth, because I see a stupid fucking bunch of wind, and I'm like, yeah, of course my character can fly. Like, that's like Sonic the Hedgehog shit.
The elevator.
Well, that will teach you for thinking logically instead of video game logically.
And I played fucking Sonic and stuff. I should have known better.
You should have. I mean, it makes sense to gamer logic now that you're like,
Yeah, now. Well, it didn't, like, right away. I don't know, I'm just kind of fucking off. Like,
one day you'll be on. And then it'll be the Rebecca podcast. And then we really will get banned from Twitch. We should. Rebecca, you gotta host the next podcast. We'll
Our
switch.
viewership will go up 300,000%.
I'll get that webcam up. She can wear some cleavage shit. It'll be fine.
no. You cunt, why didn't you grab the fucking ledge?
See? Like, we've got enough angry gamer guys. We need just a fucking psychotic, angry gamer girl. You fucking cunt!
I already do that.
I know, but you need to be on camera. Selling the goods.
I don't want to be on camera.
Well, that's your problem. That's why we don't get any viewers.
Grab the ledge, fuck ass. There it is.
See, if you were on camera, that would have been like 50 subs right there.
No, they don't like angry girls on there. They like girls that are like... and stupid.
You could be selling bathwater right now.
Fucking gross. I don't want to fucking feel that. I hate incels. I hope they all fucking choke on a fucking chicken bone.
I mean, the best thing about incels is hopefully they'll breed themselves out. Get it? Because they can't.
Yeah. And then we all got that. Fucking God, you don't need to explain that shit.
Well, apparently, I didn't hear enough laughs at that awesome joke. Doom Eternal has been delayed until March 2020. Oh, that's bad timing. That's really bad timing.
Seriously.
Who here was remotely interested in Doom Eternal?
Yeah.
Gimme.
I
mean, I'd probably buy it at a discount. I like the last Doom. Not worth $60, but once you put that shit up in competition with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Cyberpunk, you just know that's a non-starter. That is 0 buys. Tannis is great. Super hateable, but great. Death Stranding World Strand Tour announced for 2019. What is a World Strand Tour?
No one fucking knows.
No one knows. They didn't give any details. Just like the fucking game.
They fucking didn't.
I mean, are you surprised? Even a little bit.
No. Surprised they even announced that it is a thing.
I mean, at this point, Kojima should just start going door to door and saying, "Hey, give me money for the thing."
Give me money for being Kojima.
It would probably work. He'd probably have a better career doing that than working for Konami.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, badass fanatic. Yeah, your badass fanaticness couldn't stand against my fire SMG.
I haven't upgraded my weapons at all since last time.
So you're probably pretty ineffective.
Yeah, I'm pretty much using the same gun that you gave me.
Ouch. That's the thing I like about being level 50 is when I find guns, they actually will be useful forever. If Borderlands or Gearbox sold a way to just start out at level 50, probably be worth buying.
You'd buy that deal or that?
No, I wouldn't buy it on principle, but it'd probably be worth it just to save yourself the trouble of fucking around.
Or they could just let you scale your guns.
Or, yeah, give you an ability to upgrade your fucking weapons or some shit. Somebody will make a Diablo clone that does that one day, and they will fucking have all the money ever. Except they won't, because people won't need to buy their shit. But they'll have all my love. Which is worth more than money. Rebecca can attest.
Ugh, no.
Rebecca may be the only person that can attest that.
Oh, that's not an indictment on me. That's an indictment on everybody else. I think I'm doing a whirlwind. Sony saw a lot of corporate layoffs last week. Now it's Microsoft's turn. Xbox corporate vice president Mike Ybarra has left Microsoft. It's always so sad when Some multi-millionaire do-nothing fucking tech CEO quits a job to go make even more money doing something less demanding.
That's rough.
Godspeed, you rich fucker who's destroying the world. Now for people who actually matter in the world. Sony Interactive Entertainment Europe hit with layoffs on October 8th. Dozens of employees were reportedly affected, who were said to have been given notice. Meetings were made for those required to re-interview for their positions. The United States Creative Services team reportedly also saw a number of layoffs. One employee tweeted, "I was part of the Creative Services team at PlayStation that got laid off today. This group of talented and passionate people are out of a job and now looking for work. If you're hiring for project coordinators, managers, designers, please post below. I hate that." This is going to be drowned out by the PS5 announcement. For the record, also, I absolutely loved working at PlayStation. It was a dream come true. Many people got to see my art through campaigns and such. The people and environment are exactly what made me and my friends sad to leave. It was a great place to work. I'm kind of wondering if they're finished with some production when it comes to the PlayStation 5 and just don't need that many people, or they're scaling back PlayStation 4 art direction and production. Might be something like that. Who knows? But that's just speculation.
Time for pen and tail.
Is that who these are based off of? Oh, yeah. How did I miss that? Jesus Christ, I'm bad.
What?
These bosses are based off of Penn and Teller.
How did you not see that right away?
I don't know.
That's one of the things I wanted to share, but...
And now, to deflect from my embarrassing lack of cultural awareness, Cat Quest 2 is launching for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch on October 24th.
Oh, it's not out yet?
No, apparently it's on Apple Arcade. Somebody revived me. Apparently this boss can just fucking hit you with fire as soon as you fucking fall on the ground. Dickheads. Who is this game a day one buy for?
I'll probably wait for a discount. So, just because.
Go please, Jared.
I was on the other side. Oop. Shit.
Oop.
Oh.
Didn't jump on time.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Blade, stop. I got whoever I reached first. Oh, apparently it was Rebecca. Should have gotten someone else.
Fuck you!
Jared is going to contribute more to this fight. That's just a fact.
Oof. Big if true. That's sexist.
No, it's statist.
I do have fucking weak-ass guns and I'm low levels.
Well, I mean, the
But
boss
he's
scales
only
all.
level 30 for me, so...
Yes, it all scales. We're all sucking in our own ways. Okay, how am I supposed to dodge this?
Jump. Or what?
It's fired.
It was on the entire fucking map. There was no way to dodge that shit.
Yeah, the other side probably got a safe zone.
I hear little things running around.
I mean, I was running for safe zones, but if you're supposed to be able to outrun that, then... Well, no, just Gearbox. I'm just blaming on Gearbox being incompetent. I'm not going to blame myself for any gameplay when I'm playing a game where they can't get the fucking menus to run right. Oh, fuck you! I hate this fucking boss.
This is a really stupid boss.
And I'm fucking down again, because I walked into a swinging fucking blade as soon as I came down the hole. This boss licked more dick, it'd be on Pornhub.
Oh, bullshit.
Sorry, getting fucking one-shotted by things that hit you as soon as you fall down a hole is just bullshit game design. Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment and IO Interactive enter publishing agreement for new game. What game? Who fucking knows? But it is a developer of the Hitman series. Oh, for fuck's sakes. I was to the side of that, you cheating, lying piece of shit. Oh, now it's doing the you can't dodge because there's fire everywhere thing. Okay, this boss was not this much of a dick in single player. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to PC, and we got a list of enhancements and changes. So if you want to be really, really fucking bored playing a very pretty game, this is the game for you. Oh, for the love of fuck. Of course, Randy Pitchford would fucking put a musician-inspired or magician-inspired boss in his game. Cunt. According to Rockstar's blog post, Red Dead Redemption 2 will take full advantage of the power of the PC, bringing new graphical and technical enhancements to offer deeper immersion. Okay, you know, you have more immersion if you have ray tracing. Obviously, that's how it works. Players can expect to see increased draw distances, allowing them to see more detail further in the distance. There'll also be higher quality global illumination and ambient occlusion. Snow trails will also be of higher quality, as will reflection. Shadows will be deeper, with higher resolution shadows for all distances. Tessellated tree textures, improved grass, and improved fur textures are also applied to the game to offer more realism. Honestly, if any game could stand to do with less realism, it's probably Red Dead 2. Sorry, I don't need to sit there and go through a fucking detailed-ass animation every time I'm fucking doing anything. That was one of those games that just had, like, all the hype ever for about a month, and then it's like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
They made all the money.
I mean, that's their job. I can't really complain about it too much from, like, a gameplay standpoint or anything. They gave us what we wanted. It was a fucking nice, contained, complete single-player game, and the online bullshit where they made their money and fucked everyone was separate, so whatever. Hey, a legendary pistol. Well, that boss was an ass swank.
Yeah, he was like fucking piss easy on solo.
I don't know. Better stop picking up things. Because, yep, how did I guess? It was Rebecca dropping her level 20 guns.
Well, my inventory is full.
Whoa! I'm trying to be Poe over here.
Shut up.
Oh, okay. Bow to Drell, the pot roast king. Okay.
The pot roast king? What?
That was a description on a gun. You gave me a level 48 legendary. I hate you so much. Nuclear Infinity. It's closer than you think. Okay. Guess I'll have to try it out.
A Nuclear Infinity, that's the one with unlimited ammo.
Oh, too bad it's only level 40 fucking 8. Yeah, but it only has a 1-round clip size, and
Well, that's because you don't need anything else, right?
I guess. Hopefully.
That's what I assume.
Don't try this, guys.
No, it does have infinite ammo. Terrible fucking accuracy. Well, no, I can get it to fire straight. Okay, this is how I'm going to play the rest of the game.
I was hoping to jump in this fire pit and die so I could sell my shit and come back.
What's the point of selling your shit if you lose money dying?
Yeah, true. I don't really have any money.
Jeez, woman.
I don't have money to lose.
Side-scroller action RPG Dark Devotion launches for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch on October 24th. Can say some lines that will turn me off right away. Dark Devotion is an action RPG heavily inspired by Dark Souls. Fuck off with this Dark Souls shit. Wait, did you get an infinite damage or fire pistol too? Oh, you got an ice one instead of a shitty radiation one.
I've had one for like a few levels.
Oh, so this can come in multiple. This is probably a global drop too, isn't it? Yeah, well, still kind of neat, I guess.
Are you disappointed with your infinite firing pistol?
I haven't used it on anything yet, so not yet, but I probably will be. Okay, why aren't we going to Sanctuary, woman?
Oh, I was actually doing some skills, but now we will.
Jeez. The Arcade Crew has announced...
guys.
Okay. That side-scroller action RPG Dark Devotion will release for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch on October 24th. The game previously released for PC this past April. Let's see how it did. I'm curious.
Yeah, definitely worth checking. Because you never know. Maybe it's the next Salt and Sanctuary.
Maybe, but God, I'm just so sick of anything Souls-like.
But you love Souls.
Well, all-time reviews are 75%. Recent reviews are 56%. So they must have changed something people didn't like. I remember there was some like Diablo-like looking game where you played a Valkyrie. And what the fuck happened? Or not a Valkyrie, but a female knight, anyways. I wonder what the fuck happened to that one. Haven't heard about that in a while. If I had to choose between playing this game or having my peen cut off, I'd choose the latter. Significantly less painful. Okay, hyperbolic dude. What are you, me? Can't be that bad. Like Salt and Sanctuary, but worse. E.g., Dark Devotion has worse sound and music, art style and graphics, world building, writing, combat options, spell options. Yeah, that's the comparison Greg needed to see. Inventory comes and goes. I don't want a nebula. Alright, I need to keep an eye on my shotgun. Oh, okay, it's favorited. Ah. Sell away!
Legendary just came out of my loot box thingy.
Was it an actual legendary or a fucking...
It's a rocket launcher, I think.
Oh.
So yes, but not useful.
Yeah. All in all, Dark Devotion is a 2D Souls-like Metroidvania, but you cannot go back to previous sections of the giant temple. You have to move onwards until you die, pretty much like in Dead Cells. Unlike Dead Cells, the world here remains the same, no matter how many times you die, so exploration has certain value in Dark Devotion. In comparison to a number of other 2D Souls-likes that I've played through on Steam and other platforms, this game is significantly weaker. Weaker means clunkier in terms of controls, emptier in terms of exploration and less original in terms of style, story presentation, and game elements. It's not a bad game. I'd rather say it's a bland game. It is hardly advisable when you have so many alternatives.
Yeah, that guy sounds like he's making a good point.
So, well, less hyperbolic one there. Oh, Jared.
Jared just keeps playing the slot machines, apparently.
Yeah, he likes that Iridium machine. I don't know, like, I have to get that trophy for buying things from Crazy Earl, so I probably shouldn't spend all my Iridium gambling. Not that I'm in any imminent danger of that, mind you. Got 22,000 or 2,200 Iridium. 22,000, I wish. And the last bit of news we have: fantasy strategy RPG War of Asherd coming to PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Play as Deegan, a young soldier who, from his humble beginnings, will become a key feature in Asherd's power struggle, a hybrid combat system with different tactics for skirmishes and sieges, capture an enemy fortress and expand your borders, choose your generals among a dozen beautiful warriors, manage your own kingdom, and have your own land, home, and maids. That's what they said, beautiful warriors. Exact quote.
They're already trying to get that horn dog money, aren't they?
Okay. You play Fire Emblem, so I know you're not poo-pooing the hunt for waifus.
Yeah, but when it's all waifus...
Well, yeah. I mean...
not different?
No, it is different. Some characters need to be interesting. You gotta throw some goofballs in there, too, instead of girls you want to date. I always hate it when a game tries to give you a girl you're gonna want to date, because that's always the girl I'm going to hate and wish would die.
Yeah.
Level up characters to develop your units using a unique talent tree for each character. Unlock the secret Tio skills for ultimate power. Well, they're not fucking secret if you tell us about them. Live unforgettable moments and romance with your favorite girl from your mighty army. Oh yeah, laying on super thick. Oh no, I don't like this art design at all.
Oh, that's the worst. You gotta have good art design if you're gonna...
It's way too generic anime... Yeah, way too generic anime teenage supposed cute girl shit. That is, yeah, I don't know. Weird. If they look like fucking teenagers, it doesn't really rustle my jimmies too much. Especially what Japanese anime thinks is a teenager, which... Yeah.
Varies quite a bit.
And that's it. That's all we got for the news. We didn't have that many stories, but goddamn, some of them were doozies.
Yeah, that Blizzard thing.
Fucking Blizzard.
That can go get you in different ways.
I will give Blizzard credit, though. I'm finally interested in BlizzCon. So, anyone else have any stories, gaming news, anything they want to share?
Yeah, are you going to try that one night stand game I told you about?
I don't know. Maybe it's like, what, $3?
3 to 4, yeah.
Was it just like some little fucking romance story or something?
It is not romantic at all. It is very PG.
Oh.
For such a title, right?
Right? Well, I was just basing it on the art.
One night stand and it's PG?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I wrote a review for it a couple of days ago.
So what kind of story is it?
What the fuck happened to me?
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Who are you?
I don't know. I've got to hit a good 100th platinum, which I've been fucking not doing for a while, but...
Are you on 99 or something?
I'm on 99. I want a good 100. I don't know why. No one fucking cares, but I want a good one, so... In 100 years, people will fucking look at my PlayStation trophies list and they'll be like, oh, wow, he got a fucking good 100. I mean, it was either that or fucking Devious Dungeons 2. I'm glad he went with this. But,
Yeah, you don't have one lined up?
Not one that's, like, quick.
Yeah.
So, that's the problem. Like, if it's a good 100 trophy, probably not a game you just slap out in a day or two.
Did you ever platinum Fallout 4?
Yeah. Oh, I did that a while ago. I did that before you did, remember? Because my settlement happiness trophy bugged and unlocked, and...
Oh, that's right.
You actually had to do it the hard way.
The legit way.
Yeah, by building a whole bunch of fucking crates and keeping your population low.
Legit!
The way that made sense. Oh, for fuck's sakes, that game. I would totally platinum it again, though.
Dogs and cats and still didn't get that one.
Poor Rebecca.
Knock out Fallout 76 real quick.
That would be an ironic one. That actually wouldn't be bad as 100 platinum. I'd giggle at that. But no, I don't think we could do it quick because the game crashes every fucking 5 minutes.
I mean, it probably made some improvements, right?
Okay, it's either fucking scum a game for my 100th platinum or fucking work on a guide.
Okay, you work on those guides.
There you go. That's what I thought. Alright, well, that'll do it for the 162nd episode of the 3G podcast. Until next week, see you guys later.
Yep, see ya.
Bye.